I'm unmuting myself, so now the world can hear me. Let me go ahead and grab this.
Okay. I'll see you in there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And now, all right, let's go ahead and put the... let's see. All right, I'm just typing in the Discord for anyone who is not here to make sure they are ready. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and admit Avery, because it makes more sense this way. Hi, love. Hi, love. What are you drinking?
Water.
Oh, wait. Is there an echo?
Hold on.
Oh, you have the YouTube up?
Yeah, I just had to mute it.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, hold on. Let me just... I'm going to turn the music down, but I'm going to keep it this time because I think it's nice.
Yeah, I always have the like Zoom where the YouTube like video should be, and then I have the comments to the right so I can see them even if there is a delay.
Yeah. Someone, by the way, always asks if I know that the mic is on, and the answer is yes. We both know that you guys can hear us.
Yes, we are fully aware.
Okay. There we
It's
go.
why I'm not swearing like a sailor right now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, there we go. I'm going to turn it down so that it's a little lower. But y'all can hang out with us. And I'm going to go ahead and get things... Wait, where's my... Okay. What are you... Oh, did you answer? What are you drinking? Oh, hold on. Hold on.
Water.
Oh, you're boring.
I have red wine that I'm going to dip into a little bit later.
I have wine. I have my canned Moscato.
I love that.
I know, right?
I have red wine in the kitchen that's ready to be grabbed. I'm
Yeah.
just kind of like, we need to hydrate before we dehydrate.
I'm just going straight to the dihydrate. Hi everyone. welcome to our Sarah J. Maas spiral session. We are both very excited to do this because by the way, what is behind me? Oh, it's a towel. Just ignore the towel on the floor right there. It's like, what is that? Why is there a towel? I think it's from last night when I came in here and my hair was like up in a towel. Anyways, to random information. This indicates to you what this is going to be like. So usually when we do these lives, we prep. We have a little bit of a nice spiral fun session. There was no prep that went into this. Just know that. We are going completely in blind. For anyone who doesn't know, we did have a spiral session before Silver Flames, or not Silver Flames, Sky and Breath was released. So we're gonna go. We're gonna speed round it because you can watch that live to hear the full discussions on those. And then we have a few that have obviously popped up in the book talk community that we're gonna discuss. And then y'all have been submitting them on Slido, so we're gonna also go through those. But first things first, I would just like to say that so for anyone who doesn't know or wasn't in our first spiral session, we did it the week before the leaks went out for Sky and Breath.
It was the Friday before the leaks happened on Tuesday.
Yeah, so it was about
it was February 4th, in case anybody wants to know.
And then the leaks came out when?
9th.
The 9th. Okay. So it was funny because in that session we talked about some things, and I would say we have a good we're like 50-50 right now, right? Versus unknown or just like straight up wrong. So again, just to reiterate, this is full Sarah J. Maas spoilers. There is...
I feel like we need like a blinking thing.
right. So
Go away.
Yeah, like filters are completely off tonight. So we will be going over everything that is Crescent City related, ACOTAR related, and Throne of Glass. So if you've not finished those or you want to remain spoiler free, I would suggest come back later, but I just want to reiterate this is a full spoiler session. And I feel like I have to do that like 4 times. Otherwise people just like don't believe me when I'm like, okay. So I'm just going to come out of the gate and say some really big spoilers right now. Reese dies. Aelin falls through the worlds. The 13 die. And Bryce's and Prithian. There you go. So if you were spoiled on any of those, like, you need to go.
Bye.
You need to go. It's even weird for me to talk about like Aelin and Rowan being mates because I usually like try to keep that such like hush hush, but haha.
Yeah, but no, we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the doc first that we had back in February. Yeah. So the way we did this, the way with this doc worked was we had most obvious, most likely, and most obscure. So our most obvious, aka these are confirmed theories.
And or have happened, yeah.
Yeah. So Aelin falls through the worlds. The books in the library of Parthos in Jezebel's library, those are confirmed. Which, if you don't remember, it was the Walking Dead and the Book of Breathings. The Walking Dead being from Throne of Glass, the Book of Breathings being from Akatar. And then the stacked worlds. This is something that Gwen talks about Meryl's research, and then Bobby Yellowlegs discusses, and then now the Asteri discuss that the worlds are on top of each other and don't even know it. They're like stacked. But I think now it's more like planets, right?
Yes.
Is that what you think? Okay, I just want to...
Yeah, based on the description from A Court of Silver Flames of the stars surrounding the harp, yes.
Okay. And then now going into our most likely. So these are things that we strongly believe are true, but we're not 100% sure. I'm not going to go over the ones that, well, I think some of these are true. Okay, Lanthus is Valg. I still think that's true, but that hasn't been confirmed.
Right, but he has black blood, so...
It's usually a sign with Sarah. I'm going to leave the 8-pointed star till the end because I know you want to talk about that one. High King and Gwydion is the Star Sword. Those are Avery's theories. Which I should just preface this because people thought that I was like being serious. So when we did our HOEAB live, I knew in that live that Avery was...
So did I.
Yeah, that Avery was right. I knew that she was right about the theory. However, I purposefully said in the live that she was wrong and that her theory was stupid so that everyone would...
You said, and I quote, your theory is garbage.
Yeah, there you go. So I did that on
here's
purpose.
The thing. What you don't know about that moment is that there was no prep for that. Sarah did not warn me she was going to do that. I had no idea. So even though I knew that she was... I immediately caught on that she was trolling and was like, okay, I have to be super offended right now, even though we both know that I'm right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I did everything like super over the top. And then if you watch Izzy in that moment, Izzy also knows and she cannot keep her cool.
She can't. And then the best part is Alex, who's currently posting all of her Kingdom of Ash reactions with us. She has still not read HOEAB and she doesn't know anything, although she did say to us that she thinks Reese and Rune are related, and I was like, no, absolutely not. Like, I was like, absolutely not. But she still doesn't know about that ending, and if you watch the live, she's like, well, that's a reasonable theory.
Yeah, she literally is like, what? That theory makes so much sense. It's made out of obsidian, and she's just like sitting
there. It's so funny.
Me, and I felt so bad. So like, if you watch, I did like a video on TikTok about it. It's like literally like when you feel bad because your friends are defending you, but you know she's trolling. Yeah,
exactly. Like so there's that theory. Gwydion is the Star Sword. This was one that I was for sure thinking Avery was reaching, but that was obviously correct. The Horn and the Dead Trove. I think that's correct.
Dread Trove. Dread.
Does it have it? Well, yeah, I keep calling it Dead Trove and Dread Trove.
It's just like you say Damonti. There's no N. It's Damonti.
Yeah, well, you know what? I had to focus so much energy on pronouncing everything in Throne of Glass, right? Like, forgive me for messing up some Akatar words, okay?
Oh, forgive me for messing up some Akatar words if it's not as important, jerk.
Because literally I had an entire year of people being like, that's not how you say Kraken. You have to say it like a croc. Or like this, and I would just, I mean, if you watch some of those Throne of Glass lives, they don't exist anymore. I would just skip over words because I was like, I'm not gonna say this live. Like, don't ever ask me to say what the spiders were called in Tower of Dawn. I will never say that word out loud because I don't know how you say it. I genuinely don't. By the way, if you hear dog crying, it's mine. I'll probably have to take her out, but do you want to go? Okay, hold on. Let me let her out. Let's see. The Autumn King, Quartz, and the Elemental Fae. I'm going to let you talk about that while I open the door.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, let me.
Well, you don't need to go into heavy detail. We were just right.
So, the Autumn King, Quartz, and Elemental Fae.
Go ahead. Go.
Well, I love that she left me with this one, as if I know how to talk about this one the most. I think she's the one who wrote it, but basically, you wrote this one. I don't have this.
Oh, I did? Oh, sweet. Okay. I was like, it's either you or Samantha. I don't know which one did it.
I saw the Elemental Fae in the thing, and I wrote that part down, but I didn't.
So this
beyond that, I didn't look at it.
So this essentially ties into the fact that in Breeze's office and in the Autumn King's office, there's this big planetarium, and that it was clear to me that there was not solar quartz, but that there was the same quartz of Prythian that lived in Midgard, because they mentioned that there was 7 quartz, and then there's also the Stag King, which like I still think is kind of confusing wording, but whatever. And so I just strongly believed that these Fae were from Prythian, but I always felt like the Stag Fae were from Throne of Glass, but spoiler alert, that wasn't true, which then turned into me having a full-on temper tantrum. And now we know there's shifters. Yeah, I still haven't posted those. The Northern Rift is a word gate. We were right on that one.
Or like we're like pretty sure we're right. It is absolutely a portal to a gateway to and from. Might as well be called a word gate. But yeah, that is technically unconfirmed.
Yeah. By the way, for anyone who has questions or comments or anything, I am going to be skimming some of the comments on here on YouTube. But if you have a theory or you have a question you want to ask us, put it in the Slido, because it will get lost in all of this craziness.
Lucy, I'm looking at you with the planets in the Norse mythology thing. To the Slido.
Yeah. Please. Just put it over there, just so we have it. And then
because I don't want to miss that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the one thing I haven't seen it come across yet, but I do want to bring up quickly some of the more popular theories on Book Talk that have come across. One of them being the Karen Ambont. So like I just need to debunk a few of these because I just need to get it off my chest. So very early on, people were like, oh, Sarah J. Maas has Rowan and Aelin with the Karen Ann bond. If you don't remember, it's different from their mating bond in terms of they can share their powers. Rowan goes into detail about it in Air of Fire. But the gist of it is, at the beginning of HOEAB, a lot of people felt like Bryce and Hunt may have a Karen Ann bond as well. The truth of the matter is they don't. When you go through the textual evidence and you compare, it's because Bryce she's what they've said throughout the entire series, which is she can take energy from powers and then expel them. So it doesn't matter who it is. It just so happens Hunt, being lightning, is the best charge for her, but it can be anyone.
Hypaxia charged her at one time.
Yes. Yeah. Hypaxia, and then wasn't there someone else? Was it just Hypaxia?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
So just so you guys know, so that's one that I personally am debunking. The other one, which we can get into heavier detail, because I saw some people on Book Talk were not
go into heavy detail.
I know, I'm about to go into heavy detail. You agree with me on this one though.
I think I do.
Cormac.
What about him?
Cormac and Cormac. So for anyone who doesn't know, there was a Cormac in Queen of Shadows. And if you remember, basically to give you a very, very brief history lesson on who Cormac was in Queen of Shadows, it was the name of someone who worked with Arabin, who he was in the process of doing deals with. I think Cormac actually owned a piece of the fighting ring that Aelin went into as Ansel. And when Aelin went to rescue Adian, she dressed as Cormac and used Cormac's carriage to rescue Adian so that no one would know it was her. And she was also doing that on purpose so that it would essentially ruin all of Arobin's dealings with Cormac. He was human, he fled, and there's really no connection to that Cormac being the Cormac that you know in HOEAB. So just so you know that it's something that I've seen people discuss, and I'm like, yeah, it would be cool if they were the same person, but it's very clear that that's not the indication, that they are very separate. yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I'm just going to be totally honest. I think Avery and I, probably more than anyone, we can go down these spiral crazy theories for hours, but we also understand that Sarah J. Maas at the end of the day is one person. And some of these are just coincidences. And I do genuinely believe that Cormac is a coincidence. For anyone wondering, the Slido code tonight is SJM. So you just type in SJM, or I'll link it in the chat really quick, because I see some people asking. There you go. That's one. And then Rune and Rune.
The Rune Mountains.
And the Rune Mountains. So some people were like, why would Rune be named after the Rune Mountains? I believe that the Autumn King is a sneaky jerk and decided to do that because he knows the truth and he wanted to name his son after a location that is clearly made after the other Fae. That's what I think.
I don't disagree.
What do you wait, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't disagree enough to say that you're like outright wrong, but
right.
I also think it could just be a coincidence.
Oh, 1000%. Oh, 1000%. Yeah. Like, if it has a connection.
But if it has a connection, that's it.
Yeah. But if it doesn't, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, it could even be as simple as, like, the Autumn King saw a map, and we'll never know that, and that's what... Because
I mean, the map could be in the Fae archives.
Right.
It's very likely that the Autumn King could have seen it, and he could have been like, ha! But
yeah.
How, I mean, do we think the Autumn King even knows about Project Dusk or whatever? Like...
Oh, I think he has an idea.
I have questions.
I think I genuinely
Okay, we're not doing this yet.
I know. Okay. And then I forgot to let you talk about the 8-pointed star. Okay, 8-pointed star.
Well, friends, the one that started it all. So little background. How long do I have for this?
I'm gonna go through some of the comments, so you go ahead.
Okay, so a little background. Very early on, Sarah and I, when she started doing her SJM recaps, I was watching, and she brought up the 8-pointed star, and I remembered the 8-pointed star from A Court of Silver Flame, so I started doing some research. And the 8-pointed star is connected to the Starborn Fae in Crescent City, but it's also heavily connected to Nesta, Cassian, and the Dread Trove, which is important. In addition to that, we found the use of the 8-pointed star one singular time.
Yeah.
In the Throne of Glass series. It's in Throne of Glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's on, do I have the page number? It's chapter 37 of Throne of Glass. I'm going to read you the quote because I want you to hear the emphasis on the things.
Wait, it's in book 1?
Yeah, book 1,
okay.
chapter 37.
Oh, for context, this is the chapter. This is Halloween, right? Or this is Christmas? Yulmus?
Maybe Yulmus. It's the high priestess in the blue robes.
Yulmus. Okay.
Cool. The high priestess walked onto the stone platform and raised her hands above her head. The folds of her midnight blue gossamer robe fell around her, and her white hair was long and unbound. An 8-pointed star was tattooed upon her brow in a shade of blue that matched her gown, its sharp lines extending to her hairline. So when I read that, I was like, immediately the halo.
Yeah.
I was like, the halo has to be something. And then I kept looking for witches with white hair, because if you notice, Jezebel is a witch sorceress with white hair.
Mm-hmm.
Meryl,
yeah,
the priestess with white hair who has connections to the Lord of the Western Winds and has all this wind witchy power.
Mm-hmm.
And she is in the library. And what's important about the library is that it is in Akatar, it doesn't have a name, but in Crescent City, the library is called the Great Library of Parthos. And if you look up the Great Library of Parthos, you get that it's connected to Illyria. So these are the spirals that Sarah and I go down, but basically the 8-pointed star is seen multiple times throughout the 3 series. except for Throne of Glass. It's just the once.
Yeah.
And then that's how I ended up getting to Gwydion as the Star Sword and the Dread Trove. But the 8-pointed star is not only located in the center of Bryce's chest, but it is located underneath the harp when Nesta goes and picks it up. And what's important about that description is Cassian kind of plays it off as like a joke, like this is the Night Court, but she's like looking around and she's saying like the magic doesn't feel the same, and she's looking and she's seeing like the stars, and it's a celestial system. So we're getting into some.
Well, and the other thing too is when it comes to Nesta and her powers in Silver Flames, specifically the Silver Flames, one thing that has not been confirmed, but I do think will be confirmed, is Nesta's Silver Flames comes from Deanna from Throne of Glass, one of the gods. More specifically in Empire of Storms, when Aelin is on the boats with Rowan and the Valg are coming to attack Skull's Bay, Aelin shoots out a bunch of silver flames. It's even described as a little star-like, if I remember. I can pull up the quote. And then
that was a big like cross theory for the both of us, because Nesta and Aelin, we were like, but Deanna. Yeah.
And then the other thing too is I was shocked to see when we were doing our, I don't think they were in they were in the recordings with Alex, when we were doing the read along with her and we were reading it out loud, we noticed when Aelin is talking to the gods and Mala gives her the gift of fire, it's described as a piece of star, like a speck of star or something like that. So stars play a heavy role.
Kernel of power.
Yeah. But it's described as like stars. Like it's not described as like fire, like a kernel of fire or a kernel, like it's very interesting.
It's described that way. In addition to it being referenced as a kernel of power, this is also one of those things that could be a coincidence or could be something. And it's that each of the High Lords gave a kernel of power to Feyre.
Yeah. Someone's like, there's music playing in the background. You're not crazy.
Are you playing music over there? Because I can't hear it on my end.
Yeah, well, no, you can't hear it. It's only on the live. But yeah,
Lovely.
There is music playing. It's like nice, calming, relaxing music in the background.
Well, that's good, because we are going to be anything but calm.
Exactly. Yeah, so like a lot of times when Avery and I talk and we'll just like, we kind of like discuss things, it'll start as something like the 8-pointed star, or it will start as like the priestess robes. And then the next thing you know, we're searching priestess, or we're searching, blue or whatever, and we notice that there is a trend across all 3 books in regards to the priestess, all of them, the blue bloods, the Hypexia's, the witches of her coven, and even the witches
in the library.
Yeah, and even the priestesses in Akatar, they all wear these blue robes. So there is, I think both of us, I can speak for myself, I was shocked that Sarah went in the route of Rhys interacting with Bryce. But, like, I knew that something was coming because of all these little things.
Yes.
So, okay, I want to answer some of the questions that are in Slido. So someone said, Prince of the Ravine is Valg and HOEAB. His lines match what Valg say in Air of Fire, the same way they describe the realms in the Ravine. Prince of the Ravine.
I'm trying to remember the Prince of the Ravine.
Okay, so this is what's about to happen. So Avery and I both have our Kindles open. So we're just going to pull it up and find out. Okay, so Prince. I'm just going to type in Ravine.
Yeah, that's probably fast.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Prince of the Ravine. An experiment of the Prince of the Ravine from the Underworlds, the Underking Rafts, Forgotten. I'm assessing faster, roast like don't make a joke. Oh, haha, dog, haha.
It's mentioned again in chapter 39.
Yeah, and then it's mentioned, I do not care for my brother's agenda. I do not heed by their rules. I shall. So this is talking about the Prince of Hell and whether, right? The Ravine is one of the layers of hell, right? Am I crazy?
I don't remember.
Hold on.
I think so.
I'll look it up. I'll confirm. Abyss.
Also, chapter 39 seems... So this is when he's talking. The feed kept going in time to Thanatos' moving mouth. Hunger filled the demon's expression. I can smell the starlight on you. The Prince of the Ravine knew her somehow. The astronomer took a step back, then another, until he was present. So he knew Bryce.
So this is the thing. I guess the question really is, do we feel like the Ravine could potentially be where the Valg are from? Or do we feel like the Valg are not from hell at all?
I mean, I think that the Valg come from a planet. I think that the Asteri come from a planet. We don't know if they're the same, but we'd like to think they are.
There's very distinct differences between the Asteri and Valg right now. One of them being obviously the Valg bleed black blood, and that the Valg are kind of like a parasitic energy in terms of, you know, throughout Throne of Glass, they're essentially like body snatching a bunch of people. And they, you know, it is described by Maeve, and also when Nezran and Sartak talk to the spiders in Tower of Dawn, that, you know, there is only 3 kings of the Valg, but then there's obviously the Queen Maeve, and then there's all these children, the princes.
We're looking at something like this.
For what?
Planets.
Oh, yeah. But, so I guess, and then when you look at the Asteri, they don't, I mean, at this point, we haven't seen what color blood that they bleed, but they do not, they're kind of more like an energy source sucking, which doesn't line up with a lot of the description that we saw of the Valg. Not to say that the Valg weren't energy sucking, but it doesn't feel the same, at least. But it does feel like they are both villains in this world. And I do strongly believe that Aelin, when she sent the gods away, they did end up in a realm of hell, but I don't know which realm all those gods went to, or if they would be potentially alive. So if I threw in my 2 cents, I don't think that the Valg are directly from hell, but they could have association or a connection to hell.
I think we need to take a look at Aelin's fall again. If we're talking stacked worlds, because there are places she describes that are not Prithian and are not Midgard.
You want me to open that?
Yeah.
Okay. One. Here we go.
So read it to me in the order that she falls.
Well, I'm also just going to read this really quick. So this is before she falls, like right before. So the gods go into a green sun-drenched world. And then Aelin, so then it says Mala, this is just to reiterate, Mala held out her hand. In it laid a kernel of white-hot power, a fallen star. Take it, my one last gift to my bloodline, for fighting for her. I remember, Mala said, I remember. And then...
So that's one world. Let's keep going.
Okay. Oh, my favorite part, the tattoos. Okay, let's see. Lady of Light. So, okay, so it says, going back to this green one, it says it's shimmering grass, little more than a shaft of sunlight herself. Then... right into the world she'd seen, accidentally open a portal in the stone castle. Bane house cracked from the bleak gray expanse. Okay, we can look up what this one looks like, but this is the one from Crown of Midnight. It's a hell realm. And then, let's see, she didn't surrender, blah, blah, blah. World Walker, Wayfarer, so she calls, so it calls Aelin, World Walker, Wayfarer, and then it says no longer the queen who was promised, but the queen who walked between worlds. And then, okay, here we go. All right, falling. One after the other, worlds of water, worlds of ice, worlds of darkness. She slammed through them faster than a shooting star. Worlds of light, worlds of towers that stretch to the skies, worlds of silence. There were so many worlds.
Light, towers,
skies, skies and silence. Stretch to the skies. Yeah, towers stretch to the skies. Let's see. Okay, so then it says, then she goes through Crescent City. Then she passed through a world of rain, green, and wind.
That's one world.
Yeah, and then passed through a world of oceans with no land to be seen. Then it is Prithian. And then it's Aurelia. So, Yeah. So it's if I had to take a stab at this, I would say Valg are not from Hell. Oh, let me explain what that world looks like. Hold on. Crown of Midnight.
Okay, so if you take out the Hell realms, which we think is Hell is its own planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Logistically. Is water, ice, and darkness one? Or is it water, ice, darkness?
I don't know. I've already changed pages.
You
hold on. I'm trying to read you the one that was the other realm.
Okay. I don't know how entertaining this is to people.
Where is...
Oh, that's a good idea. The list of worlds the Asteri conquer.
Oh, we'll go through that too. Binding Flesh of Pain, the Demon Lunged. The creature stalked. Off to the mist. She looked at Kale. Wow, she's like really not describing what this world looks like. There was they landed on a rock, so it's definitely described as like gray and like bleak. Okay, so the Hell realm that whatever they land on sounds pretty bleak. Okay, then let's go to the Asteri. That's like this is like right after she tells him. Yep, here we go. Okay, so... Oh, one of the Asteri's name is Austrus. Did you know that? Austrus. The pipes that are feeding them their power are quartz.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
Hmm?
Do you get that? That they're quartz pipes? Just like... Okay, never mind. But there's so many... There's quartz... Okay, like in why am I blanking on the Tower of Dawn? The whole healer building.
You know you speak Throne of Glass better than I do.
Okay, but I'm trying to think of what it's called. Oh, the Torii Chesmate! That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking of that. That is all made of quartz because they did that on purpose. It's like I don't remember why. I'd have to pull up Tower of Dawn for that one. But it's made of quartz.
So it's just 5 planets orbiting a massive sun.
Oh, let me see.
Sun.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Her blood chill, star maps, a constellations marked of scribbled notations pinned with red dots. There was 5 planets orbiting a massive sun.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now.
Okay, and then it says Renthar conquered AE 14,000. And then it says scribbled beside it said aquatic.
Terminated 14,000.
Oh, this is the water planet that Aelin went through. It says it's aquatic.
Okay, so we're talking the oceans, no land.
Yeah, that one.
Or the water. There's a water and then there's the oceans, no land.
What does this word mean? Bellicose? I'm gonna Google that.
Little supply terminated 1407.
Demonstrating aggression. So they were aggressive water people. Prime. You know what? I'm gonna share. Hold on. I'm gonna fix this so you all can see what I'm doing here. So it's semi-interesting. Instead of you just staring at it.
There we go.
Okay. Here we go. So I'm gonna pull up the book so you can see what I'm looking at.
Of course you would have a Terrasen background. I swear to God.
I actually updated it recently, so bite me.
Next star, Ephraxia.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, okay. Here's the thing.
She's okay. She went to the room called Dusk. Okay, hold on.
In the I'm on 414.
414 of what?
756. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, girl, this is way farther than that.
756.
Okay.
Here is the solar system. She didn't recognize the 5 planets orbiting a massive sun. One planet in the habitable zone had been pinned and labeled.
Wait. It says, why does it say this? It says dawn, midnight, midday. She had no idea what those meant. And then it said dusk. Dawn, midnight, midday. Like day, night, and dawn? Is that what that's supposed to be? Like the 3 quarts of Prithian? Like the 3
solar quartz?
Yeah, like the 3 top ones. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because technically we think the prison might be the dusk court. There was an 8th court. And we know that the people of the prison were sucked into the mountain.
Yeah, hold on. How do I make this bigger? There we go. There we go. I was like, how do I make this bigger? Okay. She's okay. She went to the room. Okay. Dusk. Okay. Cormac.
So only one on this star chart was labeled as habitable.
But wait, I'm going through. Okay, so I think this one, what does Renthar mean? Renthar? Is that how it was spelled? Did I even spell that right?
She went to the next star map and read of the
yeah.
No, the net. What?
No, I'm looking up what the names. Oh, Hi, World of Warcraft. Ren.
It's 2 R's.
I know, but what if I use 1 R? No. Renthar meaning? Well, it's just showing me renter. Okay, cool, Sarah. So she totally made up that word. Got it.
Love it. So she went to another Ifraxia. Read the note beside it in her blood iced over. Denizens learned of our methods too quickly. We lost many to their unified
whatever is a neurological disorder, but that's not the same thing. What does it say about that planet? Oh, it just says that it says that
denizens learned of our methods too quickly. We lost many to their unified front and evacuated.
Okay, so then the next one, Midgard, obviously.
Map to map, Bryce read the notes, names of places that weren't known in Midgard worlds that the Asteri had conquered, with notations about their use of first light and how they either lost or controlled those worlds, fed on them until there was nothing left, fed on their power. Like she had with the gate, was she no better than them? The rear wall of the chamber held a map of this world, Midgard.
Okay, but hold on. So then, if you go down a little bit, it says, truly immortal, undying, 6 ruled this world, but there was originally a 7th. How many existed beyond them? So there's definitely, she's implying that there's more. And then it says, this is obviously talking about Midgard. And then it says the aquatic shifters can hold the hybrid form more easily than those on land. Hybrid form as in like Fae hybrid form, or hybrid form as in they were crossbreeding something?
I think they've been crossbreeding with the Fae because of their long lifespans.
Okay. And then it says, she read the next page with a drawing of a Fae female. They did not see the old enemy who offered a hand through space and time. Like fish to a bait they came. They opened the gates to us willing. They walked through them to Midgard of our invitation. But that's not clear if that is Prythian or if that's Aurelia.
Hold on. Read that again.
They did not see the old enemy who offered a hand through space and time, like fish to bait. They came and they opened the gates to us willing. Oh, that sounds like Aurelia.
Not only does it sound like Aurelia, who does that sound like?
Well, that specifically sounds like Maeve.
Uh-huh.
Because then it says they walked through them to Midgard at our invitation, leaving behind the world they knew. This specifically sounds like Tower of Dawn. Because this was the whole thing with Tower of Dawn. Because they knew that Maeve was there and they fled. The Fae all left.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's obviously Tower of Dawn. Okay. Then they lured them all to this world from other planets, somehow using the northern and southern rifts. For whatever they traveled, they draw them into this place to farm them to feed off of them forever. There was a projector device on the table, 3-dimensional, with the planets. Oh, this is the thing that looks like. So this is the thing
the thing that looks like the thing that's in Reese and the Autumn King's office. Yes.
Yep. Okay, so.
And in the astronomer's chamber.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
And he's the one who has the Fendir heir.
Yes. This is the other thing. I'm shocked that they let, like, the Autumn King have that. Like,
what if they don't know he does?
Oh, please. It's in his office. Like, it's not even in a private office. It's in his, like, actual professional office.
Yeah, but how often do the Asteri come to Midgard? And they don't go to, like, the Comitium or something?
I mean, I kind of doubt that you would just throw... I mean, like, Reese has it in his home. Like, it's... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, What does this word mean?
Map of the universe rotated, so many worlds.
Oh, hi, I can type.
Dryness in her throat.
Where does she come up with these names? Oh, this is like actually bringing something
Hell
up.
is actually a planet.
What?
It's next.
Uranus?
Ergonus?
Okay, well, that's why I don't typically pronounce things.
That's what I would say.
Children were ideal nutrition. Adults. I don't know what that one would be. And then it says, then her heart stopped hell. Hell lost. Once warring factions, the royal armies of hell united and marched against us. They were overwhelmed, abandoned their world. Learned from our captured lieutenants how to slip between the cracks in the realms.
Found us on Midgard in 1702. Tried to convince our lured prey of what we were, and some fell to their charms. A third of our meals to them more lasted nearly the end of 1703. They were defeated and sent back to hell, far too dangerous to allow them to access this world again. Though they might try, they developed attachments to the Midgard colonists. That's Thea.
That's Prithian. So Prithian had already been there.
Well, hell... No.
Yeah, Prithian already went to Midgard at that point.
Well, yes.
Because this is the thing that's
when the crossing happens. The crossing happens in 17,002.
Oh, it happens that year?
It has to, because that is what Bryce says. She says Thea.
No, but I wonder if the crossing happened before that. Because it said that they went to the world in...
1701.
They conquered Midgard in 1703.
Right, but they went to the world and they went to hell in 1701. And that's when they were given chase. They found us on Midgard in 1702.
No, I know.
So after they left hell, they went to Midgard. And then hell found them.
Yeah, but like, to me, this is the thing that I'm confused about. Because it said, like... It says it was conquered in 1703, but that doesn't mean that was the year. Like, it could have been before they even... Like, they could have gone to Midgard, because at some point they opened all these rifts. So they were in the world of Midgard with the humans, and then they opened all these rifts, and then Prithian came in, and then Hell came in. So, like, what year did they land in Midgard?
Here's what I'm thinking. They lost Hell in 1701.
Right.
The next planet they went to was Midgard. The rifts opened and hell came through to try to convince the Midgardians that they were prey. And that war lasted until 1703, which is why it says Midgard is conquered in 1703.
Right. But I wonder if, because it says on the other page... Mm-hmm. It says they didn't see the old enemy who offered a hand to them in space and time like fish to a bait. So that tells me they were there before that. That they didn't just arrive and then the gates open. That they had been there. Because this is the other thing. So, okay, like, this is when I need to bust out the timeline. Because this is my question. I guess this is, like, the thing that I'm curious about. So, let's just say for, like, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. Hold on. Don't mind me just deleting. Oh, whoops. Deleting a million things because I got questions. Okay, so if this is like, let's say this is 1703. I'm going to move it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is when Midgard is conquered.
Okay.
So, like, let's put it, like, here, okay? And we'll move this little guy, like, right here. And we'll say mid, or... There you go, okay? Then, this one, this is, like, hell.
Right, which is, they lost that in 1701, but we don't know when they got there.
Right,
Do we?
so...
Oof.
Lost hell. Okay. And this is
1701.
1701. Okay, cool. And then 1702. Wasn't there 1702?
Yeah, that is when Hell found them on Midgard.
Okay, so this is... I'm going to move this over for clarity's sake. Okay, so then this one is when Hell found them.
Hell finds them on Midgard. Hell finds the Asteri on Midgard.
Okay, so then... But then when that whole paragraph about... Because this is... I guess this is my question. So before all of this, this whole thing was just humans. Like this Midgard, humans only. Okay?
Right.
So if this is humans only, and they arrived at one point where it was humans only, but then from here they learned how to travel through gates, so then they decided to open up portals and bring people over, then at what point did Thea come in? You know what I mean? Thea came in probably around here when it was conquered. But...
Right. Because, well, okay, so Thea is part of the Daglin Wars with High King Finn. So that could have taken place
at any point.
Way before
Right.
the rift was opened in the prison, sucking people in.
Yeah. Someone said we don't know for sure that there were Fae on Midgard during the war other than Thea and Peleus. Others might have been brought over. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think it was implied, though, that there were no Vanir on the planet before the rifts opened, right? Wasn't that implied in Earth and Blood that it was just humans? Because that was the whole thing about the Library of Parthos.
Yeah, it was all just humans.
So if it was all just humans, so this is like... Whoops, I don't know if I deleted anything. Yeah, there we go. So if all of this is just... So Midgard at one point was just humans. And then they tried... Like, the Asteri then hopped over here and tried to get to Hell. But I still think that they were looking at Midgard.
Right, and we don't know where the Asteri's homeworld is because Regulus or whatever, Regulus, says you will not find our homeworld there, even we have forgotten where its ruins lie.
Yes, yeah. And someone said they came over, it was mentioned in Silver Flames. It was mentioned in Silver Flames. I think we're just trying to figure out at what point I would assume she came over around this time, like in between 1701 and 1702 would be my guess.
Okay, hang on. Let me see what I can find in
Silver Flames.
Silver Flames about Thea.
Yeah. That would be
She's
my
not
guess.
called Thea in Silver Flames,
No.
so I have to look up my King Finn.
Okay, I'm going to answer some of these questions that we have in the Slido. So,
I can't see anymore.
That's fine. Someone said Viper Queen is Maeve / Valg. I personally disagree with this one. I don't think... So a lot of people believe that the Viper Queen is Valg because of the blood oath that she gave to Therion. However, the blood oath is something that it can be done with any fae. We see Aelin give it to all the cadre and Throne of Glass and a few other things. I know because of like the snake-like stuff, and there's some other things that some people think that she potentially could be Valg. I don't think that. I strongly believe that she is just a very powerful shifter / TOG fae. So I think it's a very interesting possibility, but at this point it doesn't align with me for her to be Valg or fae. So yeah. Someone said 9 realms, 4 realms of hell, Valg realm, Asteri realm, Prithian, Midgard. That lines up with Norse mythology. Yeah, so Norse mythology. So Sarah has been, no, we haven't really talked about this yet. We haven't even had a chance.
Okay.
What?
Sorry. So the Daglin are definitely Asteri.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, I for sure. I thought that for sure.
Okay.
Hi, Levin.
So, Reese lifted a hand and a book of legends from a shelf behind him floated to his fingers. He laid it upon the desk. He flipped it open to a page revealing an image of a group of tall, strange-looking beings with crowns atop their heads. The Fae were not the first masters of this world.
Yeah.
According to our oldest legends, most now forgotten, we were created by beings who were near gods and monsters, the Daglin. So they were created. They ruled for millennia and enslaved us and the humans. They were petty and cruel and drank the magic of the land like wine. Reese's eyes flicked to Ataraxia, then to Cassian. Some strains of the mythology claim that one of the Fae heroes who rose up to overthrow them was Finn, who was given the great sword Gwydion by the high priestess Oleana, who had dipped it into the cauldron itself.
Okay, pause. Just to read Sky and Breath. So this is from Regulus. He says, "You are starboard and have the horn bound to your body. Your ancestors wielded the horn and other Fae objects to allow them to enter this world. Stolen, of course, from the original masters, our people who built fearsome warriors in that world to be their army. All of them prototypes for the angels in this one. All of them traitors to their creators, joining the Fae to overthrow my brothers and sisters for thousands of years." So there you go. There's the comparison of what Avery is reading, just to show you the side by side.
In addition to that, we'll look at the Seraphim, the Peregrines, and the Illyrians.
Yeah. Other wings.
Other wings. Okay, a millennium of peace followed and the lands were divided into rough territories, but that were precursors to the courts. But at the end of those 1,000 years, they were at each other's throats on the brink of war. Finn unified them and...
You want me to hold you?
And turn the page. Okay. Set himself above them as High King. The first and only High King this land has ever had. What happened to the High King? Finn was betrayed by his queen, who had been leader of her own territory, and by his dearest friend, who was his general. So Queen Thea and Prince Peleus.
Mm-hmm.
They killed him, taking some of his bloodline's most powerful and precious weapons. And then out of the chaos that followed, the 7 High Lords rose, and the courts have been in place ever since. And then she asked, does Amryn remember this? And he says, only vaguely now from what I've gleaned. She arrived during those years before Finn and Gwydion rose and went into the prison during the Age of Legends. The time when this land was full of heroic figures who were keen to hunt down the last members of their former master's race. They feared Amryn, believing her one of their enemies, and threw her into the prison. When she emerged again, she missed Finn's fall and the loss of Gwydion and found the High Lords ruling.
I just love, can I just pause really quick and just say how much I love that she connected all of this?
I know. And it's the best part about it is if you read Silver Flames on a surface level, you're like skimming this bit. You're I do not care.
Yeah.
But like me, I was like, what?
I remember the first time I read Silver Flames, well, anytime I do a first read, when I get to big paragraphs like that, I almost highlight them and say, yeah, come back to that, because my brain just can't process it. But that was kind of the joy of Silver Flame for me, was like, even though, I mean, I love Nesta. You know how much I love Nesta. So like, as much as I loved everything she went through with Cassian, like these were the actual gem conversations I loved. Like, okay, but just to, again, it says
asked about Narbin too, so that's something we need to take note of.
Yeah. We'll probably take after we're done spiraling for this for a second, I'm going to read some of just like the very like quick questions we can answer. But it says, Midgard is the base. We open the doors to the other worlds to lure citizens here. So many powerful beings, all eager to conquer new planets, not realizing that we were their conquerors, but also open the doors so we might conquer the worlds as well. The Fae, Queen Thea, and her 2 foolish daughters realized that too late. Her people were already here, but she and the princess has discovered where my siblings had hidden the access point to their world. So it's definitely heavily implied right now that Oh, wait. Your starborn ancestors shut the gates off to stop us from invading the realm once more. In the process, they shut the gates to the other worlds, including hell. And we've been trapped here, cut off from the cosmos. So I just want to take a quick pause really quick. And I just want to say...
After you do that, I have more on the Daglin.
Oh, I was just wanting to take a quick pause because some people, I understand, I get that some people will say to me all the time, they're like, Sarah, we're not going to go to Terracin, and I call it
But we're going to Terracin.
I call it Ho-Fast, but one of the like, if anyone were to ask me, like, do you think we're going to go to Terracin? I think it's a high probability, but there is still a probability we won't go. And one of the reasons a lot of people have said is because Aelin closed the gates. Like, she shut the door, locked it, literally kicked it, essentially, and fell through. Well, it is clear from that quote that Perithian did the same thing, but obviously Aelin from her end was able to open the doors through word gates. So there are other ways to open realms that have been completely shut off. So I just want to throw that out there, that it is literally in the text that you can open a realm where the door is locked. So
this is what I want to include. So the reason High King Finn in A Court of Silver Flames was brought up in the first place is because of Lanthus. And Lanthus talked about something called the Wild Hunt. So according to Reese, he turned a few pages in the book to an illustration of a host of riders.
Hold on. Go ahead. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. A host of riders on horses and all manner of beasts. The Daglin delighted in terrorizing the Fae and humans under their control. The Wild Hunt was a way to keep us all in line. They'd gather a host of their fiercest, most merciless warriors and grant them free rein to kill as they please. The Daglin possessed mighty, monstrous beasts, hounds they called them, though they didn't look like the hounds we know, that they used to run prey to ground before they tortured and killed them. It's a terrible history, and much of it might be elaborated by myths. And then Nesta said that the hounds looked like the beasts in the hewn city, which... I had a whole theory that the hounds were like the word hounds, which is it word hounds? Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong? Whatever. I think it's the word hounds. But I think that there's some merit to that. So trying to figure out this timeline is like really, really fun. But yes, the war took place 15,000 years ago. As far as history is confirmed, there are only 3 objects in the trove, protected by a spell. Do years ago. It'll pull up. So the first war was 500 years ago, obviously. The one that they were involved in.
A million people decided to come into my office, even though I repeatedly said I am live. And I was like, y'all need to go.
Oh no.
So that's why it just took me a second. I was like, what is going on? Okay, sorry.
So yeah, I think the crossing was 15,000 years ago.
Okay, 15,000 years. But it's 17,000 years. I'm trying to understand the math here for a second.
Math is hard, okay? Well, okay. So we need to determine what the AE stands for.
I guess this is my question. because, sorry, I'm like, I have a million dogs in here. I'm like, everyone get out of my office. God. How is it like, are we moving backwards? How do we get from 17 to 15? That's like 2,000 years. Great. Okay. Glad you're just as confused as me because I was like, okay.
I'm going to need to do a full freaking timeline.
That's why we have it on the whiteboard online because then you can mess around with it and move things around. It's not a big deal.
I know.
Okay. Well, I know it's Asteri era. I guess then I
literally just asked what the AE stands for, so.
Oh, so that's what they're answering. They're answering it's Asteri era. It says it at the front of the book.
Guess what? I didn't pay attention.
Where it says the 4 houses, the big yard, it says it right.
I
know. Okay, all right. I'm gonna answer we're gonna do some fun questions that we have in here.
God,
okay.
Geez, my brain hurts.
I know. So let's take a pause from the serious one. Okay. Do you think that Fenris is connected to Prythian because he can winnow?
Yes.
Really? I would disagree with that.
That's okay.
The only reason is
I don't think it's because he can winnow.
Right.
That he's connected to Prythian.
Well, we just all want.
But I think he's connected to Prythian.
We want Reese's last name to be Moonbeam. That's really the main reason. This is the thing. I would love for Fenris to be connected to Prythian. Don't get me wrong. If there is a way to do it, I'm like here for it 1000%. I guess my question is, like, if he is connected to Prythian, then his weaknesses, because he's still like heavily weak, his weaknesses is iron. Also, his shifting abilities, being a wolf, it would be Tamlin, and like that doesn't feel right because his last name is Moonbeam, and like it's not Tamlin. I'm just telling you, Fenris is related to Tamlin. I'm actually gonna be mad at Sarah J. I'm so mad. So if she can find a way to connect it, and I'm sure she can, I'll buy it. But for right now, that's a big fat no.
I mean, they're both blonde.
Okay, I really hate you right now. Okay, here's another fun one. Do you think that all the shadow people, like magic, is connected, aka Rhys, Rune, Lorcan, etc.?
So you had a theory for a long time that Lorcan is where the Avalon Fae's shadow magic comes from.
And then Sarah decided to make me wrong.
Never argued with you on that one. But I do think that based on the more of the information and what we got through Cormac, I feel like it's more related to shadow singing and Azriel's winnowing.
That's the thing. So this is what's so confusing. Az's shadow singing is very specific, and it is not the same as Rhys and Lorcan's shadow. Like Lorcan's shadow magic is described as death. Like it is.
Right.
I would almost say that Az does have control of his shadows, but I feel like they are somewhat sentient around him. Like, whereas I never felt that way with Rhys's or Lorcan's.
Right, exactly. And I feel that the shadows that are around Cormac are almost similar.
Sentient. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not the ones around Rune.
No.
Because they're asking about Rune.
Okay, but Rune's descended from
Rhys,
the Avalon Fae.
Right. And
Cormac is his cousin.
Right.
So, logically,
they're from the Night Court.
They're his shadow magic is probably from the Night Court.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, yeah, because you're right. Cormac's shadows were described in a way that were so specific.
But it seems very Azriel, whereas runes seem more Rhys.
Yes.
And even it's control of the darkness.
Yes.
Versus shadows.
Yes, because even Cormac's entrance in the very beginning of the book was very similar to how I feel like Azriel's winnowing. Wouldn't you agree? And then,
I would agree.
And then Rhys and Runes are more like night.
Yeah. So and Rhys's winnowing is very much like a stretch across the worlds and snap kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas when I picture Azriel winnowing, it is a wrapping of it's almost like apparating. It's like a wrapping of the shadows around him.
Yes.
And the shadows are what make him travel.
Yeah, it's almost smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
I also for Izzy's fic, just so everybody remembers, Azriel can winnow people.
Yes.
He's capable of doing it. He winnows Nesta and Cassian to the Nesta's old house in a quarter silver.
Yes.
Before he goes and does dagger handling with
Oh
Gwen.
my gosh. So
Quickly get one in.
Well, so one thing, because I see a few people bring it up. I don't know if we'll have time to do it tonight, because I know we're really just like off the cuff answering questions and doing some more SJM deep dives. As we have mentioned earlier, one thing Avery and I will do, or have done in the past, is we will go through mythology. Now, Sarah is known for anyone who doesn't know this, she was a double major in college. I don't remember, maybe it was English was her first major, but her second major was religion, which is why you see a lot of religious stuff in her books, whether it is Christianity, a lot of it is Judaism, because Sarah is Jewish. There's even a little bit of like Muslim religion, I believe. Don't quote me on that one. But then there's also a lot of mythology. So a lot of you guys have brought up Norse mythology. There is a lot of Celtic mythology throughout Throne of Glass and even in Crescent City. There is Norse mythology. I think I said North. There's a little bit of Egypt mythology. There is some Greek mythology, but she doesn't typically go into that kind of area. But it is a lot. Koschei is Russian, right? Russian mythology? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Koschei is Russian. So there's kind of a sprinkling of everything. So a lot of times when we do these like theory spirals, like we will literally search things. So to like quickly go into a very quick thing for anyone who doesn't know this. Yeah. So to like give you some very brief examples. So Tamlin, if you look up Tamlin on Google, there is a Celtic or Scottish mythology around of him, and I actually do think she is leaning on that for Tamlin. It goes and it's talks a little bit about a child, an illegitimate child, and there's a lot of different things, which is how a lot of people when Silver Flames came out believed that Gwen is Tamlin's daughter, but that is another spiral for another day. Then there's also Rune, and a lot of people have obviously been searching up Rune's name. If you search up Danann, and you look up Celtic mythology, Danann is a huge, huge part of Celtic mythology because it is the start of the fertility, and it is usually the god that then brings down to all these other fertility gods. So it's very interesting that she named Rune a fertility god, or also just really kind of one of the big gods of Celtic mythology, after like his last name is Danann, which is literally the same spelling as Danann as in Celtic mythology. So
right,
there's a few of those kind of sprinkled in and out. So I know you guys are like, wait, there's Norse. There is mythology throughout all these books. So
we also have well, I guess it's Izzy's theory that we have kind of adopted and are running with.
Oh, the Rune one?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. So Izzy, who's not in this live tonight, but
she's amazing.
She's amazing. We love her to death. She's also hysterical. Izzy, we were talking a little bit about Rune's oracle prophecy, where it says the royal bloodline shall end with you, and I think all of us were in agreement that it wasn't Rune's death, but I'll say for myself, I believed it was that the Fae royalty was just going to end. And then Izzy made a really good point, which is that she believes it is that Rune will be the one to end the Asteri, which really lines up with a lot of Sarah's past experiences. Because if you think about it, Elaine is the one who ended the King of Hybern. Irene is the one who ended Erwin and ended the entire Valg situation. So it would line up that it would be Rune, not one of the main POCs, to then give the killing blow to the Asteri. So that is not my line, but I'm going with it.
Yeah, no. So that is full credits to Izzy at Reviews Fix, but she has given us permission to take it and run with it because she doesn't do these with us. The theories, but she does not spiral. Like she's the one who was like, isn't Gwydion a black blade? And I was like,
yeah.
Which
fun fact. So there's a few black blades in the Sarah J. Maas universe. So there's Gwydion, there's obviously Truth Teller, which is a dagger, and then there is Damaris. which is the blade that Gavin used, but is now with Dorian. And it is considered a truth blade, which is why at the end of Kingdom of Ash, when he's holding it, he asks, "Am I human?" It like heats up to indicate to him that he is human. So there is some very interesting things.
I'm just about to spiral for a second.
Okay. So someone asked this, but we kind of answered it, which is, do we think that the Asteri are the same as the Valg? We don't. However, it wouldn't surprise us if they have some sort of connection. I really, really, really wanted the Asteri to be Valg, because I just feel like up until we found a little bit more about the Asteri and Sky and Breath, the Valg are the most interesting villains that Sarah had ever created. And I think the Asteri, if they're not on par with the Valg, it could be like Asteri Valg type of situation. So.
Okay, so I did like a mini spiral, but when Nesta makes her blades, she makes 2 swords and a dagger, correct?
Yes.
And they are calling it like a new trove.
Yes.
And then there's also like the trove, which is the mask, the harp, the crown, and then also potentially the horn. What if
this new trove?
What if Damaris, Gwydion, and Truth Teller were all part of a trove?
Oh, I just totally believe that. I totally believe that. This is the other thing too.
So what? How do we?
So
I need to connect all the things.
Okay, just write that. Put a pin in that, because okay,
There's
perfect.
the pin.
Great, perfect. Okay, because we will talk about that. Someone did ask about the swords. Like Amarantha threw one of them and into the sea, and did it end up in Throne of Glass? So I have always felt
He threw Narbin into the sea, by the way.
Yes, and someone did ask about Narbin, which that is not my area of expertise, but I will say the one thing I've always found a little suspicious is in Air of Fire, it's under the mountain with Rowan, and that's how she gets hold on. What is the sword called?
A cave, right?
It's under a mountain.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Oh no. I'm about to be obnoxious.
Yeah, I know. Goldrin. It's how she gets Goldrin, is under that mountain. So, thank you, Jamie. So.
See,
that
sometimes
whole.
we just have so much in our heads that things fall out, and you have to remind us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the whole story under the mountain, that whole situation. When I say under the mountain, by the way, I'm talking about Air of Fire, Throne of Glass. When Aelin, not Agatar.
Connotation over here.
Yeah, when Aelin goes to rescue, I think it's Luca. I think is who it is.
Yeah, it's Emrys and it's Luca.
I think it's Luca. When she goes to rescue Luca, because Rowan has this genius plan, it's really not. And then the creature comes out from the water, and then you hear the story about it, and it's in this very, very ancient language that not even is the old English, like it's not even the language of the old Fae. There's something there. Someone said Amarantha not made. Yes. Goldrin is also from the Old War. It is. So Goldrin, for anyone who doesn't remember the myth around this sword, so this is the sword that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna blank on his name. Who was it was Maeve's lover. It's not really Maeve's lover. I have the Wikipedia up so I can look at it.
I mean,
it was originally with Brannon. Oh, Anthril. Athril?
I don't know.
Athril.
This is your area.
Athril? I don't know. Never said his name out loud. So it was his ring was on the blade, and I believed it was his blade, and then Brannon gave it to him. Or I think that's. Listen, I'll look it up. I haven't done my Throne of Glass reread yet, but I know that the blade is connected to both of them, because I know that his ring is on the blade, which is actually a gift from, oh God, what's the god that blesses Irene? I don't remember.
Oh.
The goddess.
Yeah.
It's the healing one.
Uh-huh.
I'm blanking on her name. What's her name? I'll look it up. Hold on.
I'm literally, I've got Tower of Dawn
Irene
right.
Towers. This is why we have the Wikipedia. Silva! Thank you! Silva is the one who blessed that.
We are struggling.
Oh my god, we're struggling. We're literally.
This is what, guys, this is what you get with no preparation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
but I will
we
say
do all of this off camera for a reason, and then you get the like cohesive version.
yeah. So the idea is that Silva is the one who gifted him the ring to keep him safe from the Valg, because Silva's, I'm sure she was connected to the whole Tower of Dawn, all the Fate leaving and all that stuff. Okay. So but the sword, I believe, was also his, but it could have been Brandon's. I don't really remember. I don't know. I'll look it up. I will look it up. Don't worry. Well, listen, I just started Throne of Glass. Like, I'm literally on chapter 13.
Reading Throne of Glass for the at least third time.
Third time. Is my third time. No, it's my fourth time. It's my fourth. Reading book 1. It'll be my third time reading Crown of Midnight when I start that.
You didn't skip Crown of Midnight?
Well, no, because I read Throne of Glass for the annotations. I did a full reread of that. Which, by the way, Lucy, I'm sending that to you this week. Yeah. Let me think. Okay. Answering some more questions. Question about the communication barrier. I know Reese can speak the old language of the Fae. I could only pick up every other word Reese said in Silver Flames. I don't know how fluent he actually is.
Here's the thing. My favorite headcanon is that Reese is speaking like level 1 old language of the Fae. So he's just like Me llamo Reese.
That's kind of how I feel like Aelin, because Aelin speaks the old language of the Fae, kind of. She can, like, because she says when she sees Rowan, she knows it's a language on his tattoo, and she knows what language it is, but she can't read it. And I just can imagine Rowan being there and being like, let me speak this in full fluent language. Rowan's over here, like, speaking everything, and Aelin's like, blah, 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 dog. And he's like, no, that's not the right word. Like, that's canon in my
Okay, somebody said they haven't read Tower of Dawn. Do you? But I'm telling you right now, for HOEAB, you're gonna want to read Tower of Dawn.
Okay, for anyone who has ever skipped Tower of Dawn, let me tell you, as someone who did skip Tower of Dawn and has now read Tower of Dawn twice, let me tell you why you should read Tower of Dawn. This is what you think, because this is what I thought. I'm going to skip Tower of Dawn because it's a book about Kale, and I don't give two, about Kale. You just don't care. You don't care. However, Tower of Dawn has like this much Kale, and then the rest of it is literally the southern continent, which honestly is extremely fascinating. In fact, I think it was the first few chapters are beyond incredible, because you just get this insane world about the Kagan and all this. And listen, you read Tower of Dawn for Sartak. Okay, you don't read it for Kale, you read it for Sartak. Okay, Sartak is, and you get all this backstory about the Fae, and it is so good. No, if you read a summary, y'all really need to go read Tower of Dawn. Like,
you read Tower of Dawn for Sartak.
Go read Tower of Dawn. Like, as someone who was
good.
very, very against reading Tower of Dawn, go read Tower of Dawn. And if you skipped it, it was almost, I'm in a weird way, kind of glad I skipped it, because it really, you're so crazy. It really was kind of a gem to read it, to go and read it, because it was my last piece of Throne of Glass I hadn't read. And when Aelin's name gets brought up, and when Rowan's, I got a little misty. Like, I was really happy to kind of see them, even if it was out of context. If you haven't done the tandem read, I highly recommend it, because it helps for people who are a little more apprehensive about, Aelin in the coffin.
I haven't done it yet, but I also went kind of ass backwards and read Tower of Dawn before I read Empire of Storms.
That's what I did with my mom.
Which you can do.
You can.
You're going to go into the book knowing that Maeve is Valg.
Yes.
Which is kind of weird, but because of the way the spy reports go, you don't know that it's Lysandra shifted as Aelin walking off the battlefield. You just think she walked off the battlefield.
Yeah. Oh, I did order the red. I did order the European edition of Throne of Glass. It was like my little celebration.
Of course you did.
I have wanted that set for a while, and with some of the inside knowledge, I know I was like, I better order it now. But I will say too that Oh, what was I gonna say? It was something about, oh, one of my favorite lines about Tower. Oh, one of my favorite things about the Tandem Read. There's two things I wanted to say. One about the Tandem Read. One of my favorite things about the Tandem Read is when you read it, the moment Aelin decides to send everyone to Skulls Bay, because you know how like they finish that meeting with the asshole, and then they all leave, and then they're like, "What should we do?" And Aelin's like, "Well, no one would expect me to go to Skulls Bay, so let's go to Skulls Bay. Rowan, you go save Dorian." Okay, so you read that, and then you flip to the chapters of Tower of Dawn, and it's literally when Kale and Irene are at the party, and they're sitting down, and Irene's like, "Listen, Hussar wants me to get information about Aelin. What can you tell me?" And Kale goes, "What's the one place that Aelin would never go?" And he says, "Skulls Bay." And I'm like, Kale, you did not. Like, it's actually hysterical when you do it that way. So the Tandem Read is incredible. And then for anyone who hasn't read Tower of Dawn, one of my favorite parts is when they're in the desert at one point and they're all sitting around a campfire, and one of the royal princes says something about, well, one of us could marry Aelin Galathynius. Like, that would be a smart move. And Kale casually brings up, oh no, she's gonna marry Rowan Whitethorn. And the whole campfire goes dead silent. And they're like, what did you just say? And Kale's like, yeah, her bloodsworn, like Rowan, you know, they're like, Prince Rowan. And they're all like, they all know who Rowan is. And they're like, no one can walk away from a battle. And they're like, why? And they're like, because of Aelin. And they're like, no, because Rowan always annihilates. And I'm like, yes, baby! Like, it's one of my favorite parts. It's like the fact that Rowan has like such a reputation that all of the Coggan's children are like, what?
Excuse me?
Yeah, and then when they later see them in Kingdom of Ashes, she comes in when she's like, this is Lorcan, my bloodsworn. This is Gabriel, my sort of uncle. And the whole Coggan is like, holy shit. Like, it's like the panic of like this little 19-year-old queen who's like, and this is my mate, and this is so-and-so, and this is my bloodsworn, and this is da-da-da. And they're just, like, Maeve really messed up. So, just want to throw that out there. Okay. Let me see. Oh, I love this topic. Okay. The sprites are the little folk, which are basically is Lily a little folk? And the answer is yes. 1000%. I have thought that from the beginning that she was a little folk. What's funny is in Throne of Glass there's no fire. You never see a fire sprite. You only see the foresty ones, but they are described in a way that made me think if there was a fire sprite, it would be Lily.
It's the elements for me.
Do you have nuts? I was gonna go downstairs and get some nuts.
No, I'm eating dairy-free chocolate chips.
Oh, I was gonna go get nuts. Like, okay. Oh, I'm gonna save this one because this is gonna be a spiral. This is about.
Oh no, I got wine now.
I know. We can save this one. This is about the Seraphim, the Peregrine, like all. Yeah, we'll save that. Do you think that Bryce's dad, the Autumn King, knows the truth about the portals and the worlds? I think he has a very high idea.
I think he knows about them about as much as like Reese knows about them. Like maybe more, but like
I would agree.
It's like they know about the myths, they know about the legends. They think it's possible, but I think there's a reason that Meryl was looking into stacked worlds in that library.
I would agree. I think you're right. I think the Autumn King probably knows a little bit more than everyone else does, but I think everyone is on the same trajectory of figuring it out. What's funny is Aelin figured it out because she kind of had to. It wasn't like she
did it.
It wasn't like
literally trial by fire.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was researching like Reese or no, like it was just like, here you go. Like
I'm gonna fall through these worlds real quick. It's fine.
It wasn't even fall through the worlds. It was like, here is this necklace. Now go to the other continent and figure it out. Like it was she had to. So I that's kind of why I also hope Aelin gets involved, because she has like the most experience out of all of them, and she's gonna be like, I'm sorry, so what, you just need me to open a portal, or you just need me to teach you the language of the realms? Like,
what do you need from me? Why am I here?
Yeah, I got 5 minutes and then I gotta go bang Rowan, so like, what are we doing right now? Like, I think he knows more than he leads on. I would agree. I think the Autumn King does know more than he leads on. Thoughts? Ooh,
I'm interested to see how the Autumn King reacts when he finds out where Rune is.
Do you think he's going to care about that or the fact that his daughter just traveled through the worlds?
I think it's going to be like a combination of both because he can get to Rune.
Do you think he's going to go under the pretense that he'll torture Rune and then he'll like...
I don't know. I don't think obviously his dad is a sadist and an asshole, but
yeah.
But I do think that the Autumn King cares enough about his heir.
Yes.
To get him out of a torture situation.
But I do think he cares about his kids. Because I don't know if he cares so much about Rune, but he definitely cares for Bryce because that meeting that they had in Earth and Blood, I was like, light bulb, like this is important. Like he's talking about love and like it was not the same guy as earlier in the book.
I think with all of his research and stuff too, I think it's like he hyperfixates on Rune's lack of a Starborn gift, and he's incredibly mad at Ember for hiding Bryce's.
Yes.
And I think
yes,
there's more to the Starborn situation than meets the eye.
Yes.
And he knows something about it, and him finding out about that was like a big deal.
Yes, I would agree. While I go get my nuts, I have a question for you that you can answer, which is about the Archerons and their witch blood.
Oh dear God.
Do you want to talk about that or you want to talk about something else?
I don't subscribe to that theory yet.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to it. They all were made successfully, but I'm not like
for it.
They're witches.
Someone said I need to do a reread of all of these. So we are hosting a Sarah J. Maas reread beginning in August.
Because we're sadists.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to go all the way until March of 2023. With December taking a break. But we will start with Throne of Glass. The way it'll go is we're going to start with Throne of Glass, then we're going to do Akatar the trilogy, basically. And then we'll do a Frost and Starlight mini special. Then we will do
Peace.
Then we will do Crescent City 1. And then we will do Silver Flames.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sky and Breath. And it'll end. So for anyone who wants to do a reread, just wait. I'll be hosting a lot of it. The conversation mainly will be happening on Discord. And then the folks that you saw in the HOEAB live are the ones that will be live with us when we discuss it. And it's going to be very casual, but also like you guys are welcome to ask theory questions during that. But for the most part, keep in mind, we're going to keep it series spoilers. So when we read Throne of Glass, we'll talk about the entire series, but we're not going to talk about Akatar or Crescent City.
The only time we'll talk about crossover is in the triple at the end with Crescent City, Silver Flames, and HOEAB. And
we'll talk about it a little bit when we have, at the end of each series, we have scheduled like a all series wrap-up episode. We'll talk about crossovers in that one, but it will still be very casual. And then Avery on our own will be doing stuff like this, which is just casual crossover conversations. Okay, let me think. Do you think we're going to Hell, or is Adis coming to Prythian?
Okay, go get your nuts. I'm gonna think about this one.
Okay.
Okay, so are we going to Hell, or is Adis coming to us? I think that Bryce is going where she's gonna get the most help. And I think that I have a heart. Adis is obviously connected to the Starborn. Like that's a huge deal. Because of his love for Thea. And Bryce has Thea's light. I think Adis had to be summoned by Bryce, but he does not just go to Bryce often. I know he was able to just go, but he's only able to stay in his cat form when he went for his visit with Jezebel at the end of Earth and Blood. I think the likelihood that he knows where she is probably low because it took a while for the people of Hell to find Midgard. So I think he knows that she's left Midgard, and that's probably stressing him the hell out. But I think that we are going to have to go to Adis. So I think it's going to be like a traveling where she can get the most help. So I think it'll be Prythian first. Hopefully we'll go to Terrasen, and then we'll end in Hell. And Hell, she will, through her meetings with Reese in her meetings with Aelin, potentially, she will gather the information she needs so that she can go through the next portal into Hell, and she can provide Hell with what they need so that they are not blocked out of Midgard, and they can bring all of their armies over to help wipe out the Asteri. So that's kind of like my whole thing is I think she's going to end up in Hell, but I think she's going to have to make the rounds first to gather all of the information that she needs. Okay. I don't have access to this. Oh, I have access to the Slido, but I'm not looking at the Slido. So if you have a couple of questions and you want to throw them in the YouTube. Oh, you're back. Good. Yay.
Someone, by the way, Rachel said Adis was talking to Bryce about come and find me when you're in Hell. So I think she's going to end up there. I just want to read that to you.
So I did say that I thought she was going to end up in Hell, but I thought she was going to go to Prithian and Terrasen first and gather the information she needs.
Yep.
To get Hell's armies to Midgard, because they're currently blocked out by whatever it is the Asteri's doing.
Yep. That's a little ASMR for you right here. This is my...
Yeah, I'm eating chocolate chips, so...
This is my Tex-Mex. So yummy. And I also grabbed another thing of wine. Okay. Let me see. We talked about the Archerons having witch blood. Both of us think that's a no right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think there's enough evidence to support it yet.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. What do you think is under Ramel?
Ramiel?
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
I was just checking.
Isn't Ramel somewhere? Oh yeah, it's Rowan's ex. That's why I'm getting it confused.
That's why I was asking. Because I might have said Rowan.
Who do you? I would have murdered you. She wishes it was Rowan. She learned her lesson.
Okay. So, this kind of feeds into my three sister mountains theory. I believe that each of the Archeron sisters are fated to conquer a mountain. So, Feyre conquered the sacred mountain in the middle. Nesta conquered Ramiel, and I think Elaine will eventually conquer the prison. However, as far as like what's underneath, I think it's similar to what we find in the room with the harp in the prison. I think there's going to be constellations. I think there's going to be like tunnels and rooms and stuff like that. But the Illyrians have never looked, at least according to Eris. They've never looked or been curious. But there's also this, like, they have winnowing power only on this one night. And the stone at the top of Ramiel literally transports people places. Like,
yeah.
There's stuff. Oh, you think there's spiders under Ramiel? That would be so...
I mean, I would be down for that.
I would not hate that.
I don't hate that.
I hate big spiders, but like...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thrilled with the spiders. Not thrilled
What
at all.
is it with fantasy books and big spiders?
I don't know. Well, keep in mind...
I'm over it.
Sarah's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Like, massive.
I know. It's in Lord of the Rings. It's in Harry Potter.
That's probably why she did it.
I'm like, done.
Because she did it because of Lord of the Rings. Okay. So the god Erd is word. What other concepts we think have popped up in the CC, but the Asteri have messed up so we don't recognize? I mean, I don't know. Like, this is the hard part, is like, it's almost like From Blood and Ash, honestly. Where From Blood and Ash, with each book, we think we know the history and then we learn the actual truth.
Right. I think what's interesting about this question is the context in which you are asking it.
Yeah.
I think if Sarah and I sat down with that question and spent like 3 hours combing through the books and trying to find different things and connections and stuff and prepped alive for that, that could be a really good deep dive. But I think in this context, that's not something we're going to be able to come up with.
I'm going to leave it in here just so we have it for later, but
for sure.
Yeah.
Because I would love to do a deep dive on that.
Yeah. We talked about, do you think that the Throne of Glass Fae are lesser Fae? Because all of them can shift into another form, while the High Fae, like Rune and Rhys, can't. Well, what do you think? Because I can tell you what I think off of that response.
So read me the first part of the question one more time.
Do you think Throne of Glass are lesser fae?
No. Fuck that.
I don't think they're lesser fae either.
I don't think either. There is. I think it's like Cassian says. They're just fae.
Yeah.
One is not greater or lesser than the other.
Yeah.
I think that the fae of Throne of Glass have lent their abilities to the shifters. So the deer shifters, because they all shift into different animals or different forms. In the case of Aelin.
Yeah.
And then you have the
Prithian
fae, who are just fae.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the experiments of the Asteri,
right,
which are things like the angels and the peregrine and the
Amryn.
seraphim and potentially the Illyrians
And Amryn.
and like there's something there.
Right.
We just don't know exactly what it is yet. So
I will say this just as a quick little rant because it drives me nuts.
mm-hmm.
I think people automatically assume that Rhys and all of them are so much more powerful than Rowan and Lorcan and Aelin. And I think that is so wrong. It's not even funny because while I definitely, like, if you were to put them all on a chart, I still think Rhys is pretty, I mean, he could be at the very top, but I think he is very high up there. I don't doubt that. But I think people dismiss the fact that Rowan, when he was born, Maeve knew who he was right away because he was so powerful. She immediately entrapped him. He is so powerful next to Lorcan that they destroyed an entire city for Maeve. And it no longer exists. Like, it's literally erased from the map. Not saying Rhys can't do that because I 1000% think that he can. But people dismiss it. And that's why if people, before Sky and Breath, what I'm trying to say is before Sky and Breath, I always viewed it like this. Prithian fae, highbrow, sophisticated, fancy clothing, fancy houses, Throne of Glass fae, extremely primal, very animalistic in their actions and their natures and all of that. So it is just because they are different. It is not because that there is one lesser than the other or one is better than the other. I think when Nesta had the Silver Flames, I think that could have really rivaled Aelin when she had all of her fire magic.
Yeah.
So
I want to speak to this comment in the YouTube really quick. Because I don't know how I'm going to feel about an Elaine book because Sarah has not given her much substance in the book besides being a delicate sheltered flower. At least Nesta's book had some prior fluff. Here's the thing. We're going to get some inner circle funness in Crescent City 3.
Yeah.
This book is not going to be about the inner circle.
No.
Think of it like a TV show. Your main cast of characters is Bryce, Rune, Hunt, Therian, Ethan. That's your main cast. If you tried to mute your mic, it didn't work.
No, I didn't. But I wasn't sure if my chewing is bother you.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure you knew.
I can hear it.
Okay, cool. So, basically, that's your main cast of characters. And basically, the Prithian fae are getting a guest spot.
Yep.
They are important.
Yes.
But this story is not theirs.
Yep.
I think we are going to see some really good stuff from the Prithian fae, though. I think we're going to see some more Gwen because she is a researcher in a library and she has done research on stacked worlds.
Yeah, y'all don't think Meryl is not gonna find out about this and be like, "Oh, boss."
It's just gonna logically make sense that is a connection that will happen with Crescent City 3.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think we will get some substance from some characters that may have been introduced. I think we'll get a little bit more substance from Elaine. I don't believe Elaine's book is next. I believe Elaine's book is last.
I
and
think
I
so,
think
too.
Elaine's book is last because it is the best way, in my opinion, to round out a series about the Archeron sisters.
Yeah.
And there is one character that Nesta is heavily connected to and Elaine is heavily connected to in the inner circle, and that's Azriel.
Yeah.
And he has enough behind him now to hold his own in a book. So it would not surprise me if he was the one to bridge the gap between their books.
If I'm going to be totally honest, this is my opinion. This is not, there's no textual evidence behind this. I don't think Sarah really knows how to approach an Elaine book right now. I just don't think she does. I think this, whatever this I keep calling it HOEAB, but whatever this Crescent City 3 is going to be, yes, there will be some Elaine substance, but it is not, there's no way in a very quick timeline that we can get enough of Elaine to be like, oh yeah, her book is next. But I do think it will heavily imply whatever book comes next.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Agreed. And then somebody said, I want to read a Lydia chapter. Girl, me too.
We all want a Lydia chapter.
The chokehold
I know.
that day and night have on me. I told Alex this the other day because I'm trying to convince her to read HOEAB. I'm really trying, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I was like, look, you don't know this ship. But she
Yeah.
also knows I'm a picky bitch. So I said, Gwenriel, day and night,
Yeah.
Nessian. And she was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, read the book.
I don't know if we'll ever see a Lydia point of view. I would love that. I would personally
I would.
really love to see a Lydia point of view.
I think we're going to get it through Rune's mind.
That's what I think, because at this point, I think there's going to be too many points of views to be circling around for us to be
There's
getting.
too many storylines. It's approaching Kingdom of Ash at this point.
Oh, she said it's bigger.
No, I meant like as far as
Oh,
POVs.
yeah. So I'm going to skip around because we're talking about Elaine.
Yeah.
Evil Elaine probability. How is she connected to the Spring Court, Rune? Like, is it Rune and Reese's lineage? I just want to quickly say, because the evil Elaine thing was something that I really stuck to. When I say evil Elaine, it's because it has a very nice ring to it. I don't actually think Elaine is going to go evil. I never have.
No, it's like misunderstood.
It's going to be like a breaking point, because if you've never heard me explain the Iliad effect, Elaine is going to get the Iliad effect. And what I mean by that is, when you read Queen of Shadows, if you never got Iliad's point of view, you would find her to be extremely boring, because that is what Iliad wants everyone to believe. She wants everyone to believe that she's just this quiet person in the background that we should all just ignore and we should all just like move on from. But then very quickly in Queen of Shadows, we get Iliad's point of view and we're like, holy crap, there's a lot more to this chick. Manon is one of the first people to piece that together, which is how their friendship kind of started. And then we're off to the races. We have never, ever seen Elaine's point of view. We just haven't. What we have seen is bits and pieces of this person. Like, she doesn't use the gloves that Lucian gives her. She would rather use her hands. She doesn't, there's just these little gems of Elaine. I mean, she was laughing when Nesta said F you to her. Like, you know, it's like, there are these moments where you can see this person shine through. Reese has said that he thinks there's more to Elaine than meets the eye. So when I say evil Elaine, I think she's going to crack and finally just show everyone her true colors. And I still strongly believe that's going to happen.
So I have a theory about Elaine going evil. And that is that it's some kind of
With Crochet?
effect with her seeing powers in Crochet.
Yep, that's what I think.
And I think
he's going
if
to want her.
she goes evil, it's not going to be by choice.
Oh, I think like if she actually were to go evil. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be how Izzy wrote it in Akalam, and it's going to be some misguided trust in somebody.
That's what I
other
think.
than family.
I think I think there is a very high probability that Elaine, who is so gung-ho on this idea of, at least as of right now, it seems like she really wants to be with Az because it's someone she's choosing rather than being forced to be mated with. And the minute Az realizes Gwen is his mate, it's going to
Because she's
shift.
asleep.
It's going to shift the tide for Elaine in a way that she's going to be like, screw all of this, I'm out. And that's what's going to cause her to kind of potentially try to break the mating bond, because I think that's a very fascinating, which is then how we're going to involve Helion, because I really think Helion should be more involved in the series in general. So, someone said all the cats in the Sarah J. Maas books. It's funny you bring this up. So there's obviously the cats in the library. Isn't there cats in the library in ACOTAR?
I don't think so.
Where are the
but
cats in ACOTAR?
I think they're referring to how Bryaxis is referred to as almost cat-like.
Oh. See,
But I don't think there are actual cats. I could be wrong. I could be misremembering, but I don't think there are cats. I'll start looking it up. Hang on.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say there's cats in there's definitely cats in Tower of Dawn.
Cats in Throne of Glass.
And there's definitely isn't there cats in well obviously there's Adis in Crescent City. But the cats in Tower of Dawn are the most fascinating because they're like pets, but really they're very smart.
Chapter 13, the house is referred to
As cat-like.
as a warm breeze brushing past her legs like a cat. Reese's smile is feline. I can feel something like a cat, small and clever and curious. It's watching. If you're joking, Gwen reached into the pocket of her pale robe. So it's the house is what's described as like cat-like.
Okay, while you're doing that, the word hounds in Hewn City. 1000%. 1000%. Don't know how they all crossed over, but that is the same damn thing. I can tell you that much. Do you think the cauldron from ACOTAR was made by the Asteri?
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's like a 50-50 for me right now. I gotta do a little more research into the cauldron. But there's definitely some Christianity vibes with the Book of Breathings because it's in the Holy Tongue. And the cauldron is obviously part of the Book of Breathings with the Holy Tongue. So all of that makes me think it's the Asteri, but I'm not 100% sure. But it would not surprise me if that's what's going on. Kale with the Asterian Stallion. This is why you don't skip Tower of Dawn and Assassin's Blade. AKA, don't be me. So, yeah.
So far, all cat references in ACOTAR have been in reference to, like, feline smiles or, like, cat, like, silently creeping up on cat's paws, that kind of thing. So, I'm in Wings and Ruin now.
Uh-oh, hold on. Is it possible that Aelin might have produced the first light when she first light when she closed the gate? Yes, because I felt so many people before Sky and Breath came out believed that when you do the drop in Crescent City, it was a lot like the yielding in Kingdom of Ash or in Throne of Glass in general with the witches. And it never felt right to me, like it just didn't make sense. But when you go back and you reread Aelin's fall, not fall through the worlds, but her fall through to the gods with Dorian the First and Dorian the Second, that feels very similar to the drop. And even when Aelin is falling through the worlds, it also somewhat feels similar to the drop, but definitely more that first time. So there is some sort of connection. I don't know how the first light and all that gets connected into all of this, but there is something in regards to the way that she met the gods and all that. The other thing I want to quickly point out, because it's one of my favorite things, is when Hunt talks to Apollyon in Sky and Breath, they mention he's in a pocket realm. The other time we've ever seen a pocket realm is when Aelin is talking to the gods in Kingdom of Ash. That is also a pocket realm. So, fun little thing right there. Okay.
Yeah, so there are no physical cats
In Throne of Glass.
in ACOTAR.
Or in ACOTAR, sorry. So Mor and Rhys are cousins, and Rune and Cormac are cousins. So Rune and Cormac can be related by the Night Court. Blonde and black hair is a coincidence. No, I don't think so. I think they're all from the Night Court, well, obviously. So, Is Meryl a whitethorn? No.
No.
No, I don't think so. Just because
I think she's a white-haired witch like the one mentioned in Throne of Glass and Jezebel.
like Baba. Is that who you're thinking of? Are you thinking of Bobby Alex?
No, I'm thinking of the white-haired witch in the blue robes with the
Oh, at the very beginning. The priestess.
priestess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but the blue bloods.
Oh, the blue. Well, yeah, there's that. There's them too. Okay. If ACOTAR is going to be 3 books and a novella, any theories on what the novella will be about?
I have a few.
You're about to troll.
I have said since the dawn of time that I think we deserve a more novella.
Oh, okay. I would agree with you on that.
I think
A more
there might be
novella makes sense.
Right. I think there might be a possibility that because it's Sarah, they might contract her for more books. So that might not be all we get.
Yeah.
But as of 2016, she was contracted for 3 books and 2 novellas.
Mm-hmm.
And Frost and Starlight was a novella and Akasif was a book. So what we have left is a novella and 2 books.
I'm also down. I'm just going to throw it out here. I'm down for another Frost and Starlight. I'm down for a silly novella. I think
I wouldn't hate that.
The one thing Sarah does really well is she's okay to push the boundaries to write fanfic for her own books. Like
I like a holiday special.
Yeah, like a holiday special.
It's nice to break up the theorizing for a minute. Just
yeah. Well,
have a birthday party.
There's one. I think when I knew I really loved Sarah was in Empire of Storms when Aelin with the emerald, because I feel like in most instances you would get to that chapter in a book, and you would think that an editor would scratch the entire thing because it is so campy. It is so just funny, because Aelin is pretending to be Selena while Lysandra comes in to be Aelin, and Rowan is pretending not to have feelings for Aelin but also has feelings. It's the whole thing is hysterical, and she's not afraid to do those moments. So when I read Frost and Starlight, it was the same vibe. So I know everyone wants this more novella, or someone said an Eris novella, which I would totally eat up, but it makes more sense for me to be a Nyx's birthday party or something like that.
It's just Nyx's birthday.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious to see I don't know, Amryn with Nyx.
Yeah.
That would be hysterical.
Yeah.
She would be like this.
Yeah, she's I don't want to hold the baby. Yeah.
I don't know what to do with it. Why
do not make me babysit this child. Here you go.
Right?
Give him to me when he can go to the bathroom on his own.
Yeah, and then Gwen rushes in and is give me the baby.
Where is the baby?
Give me, I would like to see
to see the baby. Yeah, exactly. Vacation in the summer court. Yeah. Mating ceremony. There's so many fun options, and I know that I can already hear the fandom just groaning at it, and I could care less. I do not care.
Give it to me. Honestly, we deserve a breather because this was a lot.
Yeah.
This was a lot.
Okay.
And as much as I want to know what's happening next, can we just get
yeah.
a minute?
Oh, here's a question from Taylor, our love.
Oh, love of my life.
What do you think Az's role will be in the crossover? I'm sorry, I'm about to shake things up. I know the Elreals don't want to hear this, and I don't really care. He's given that truth teller to Bryce.
Oh, yeah. Az is losing truth teller.
Because there's no way Bryce is giving up the sword. So, sorry, babe. There goes Elaine's bargaining chip with Az.
Okay, we're not touching that with the 10-foot pole. I don't feel like getting attacked on the internet.
Listen,
today.
I've already been attacked today by
I know you have. I haven't. I managed to skirt around them, and I'm really trying to stay that way.
I think it's hysterical.
As far as I am aware, they have not found me. Or when they do, I shut them down in the comments so hard that they leave me alone.
Yeah. Let me tell you, if you start coming to my videos and start attacking me for no reason that has nothing to do with the book, you will be blocked so fast it's not even funny. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I just enjoy the views. Thanks, guys.
I see you, Elreal Twitter. So, and just keep in mind, I don't care. I'm like,
Fighting birds. I'm not here.
yeah, I don't care.
Find me.
I only care about Throne of Glass and seeing Rowan again. So, like,
But see, here's the thing. You only care about Throne of Glass and seeing Rowan again. I am a diehard Gwynriel stan, and they will come for me, and I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight it.
yeah.
Because I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
Yeah, I know you're right too. So Starfall theory. Starfall is how the Asteri harvest second light from the Prithian Fae. They harvest it every year, not actually the spirits migrating.
You're turning something so freaking beautiful and making it disgusting.
I'm going to say right now, I think that theory is 50-50. So I think Starfall is connected to the...
It's just gross.
Do I think Starfall is connected to Second Light or whatever? Yes. Do I think it's connected to Asteri harvesting? No. Because if it was connected to that, then the Asteri would just stay in... They would go to Prithian. Like, why would they ever... That's the whole point of HOEAB, was that they were trying to get back to Prithian, and they knew Bryce could because she had the horn in her. So...
Yeah, I think Starfall definitely has something to do with First and Second Light.
Yeah. Yeah. So just throwing that out. We talked about the horses.
Wynn doesn't have to buy him another dagger. He can be gifted
one of Nesta's
dagger that they got back from Eris.
That's
just saying.
Okay, so wait, someone said that's what I love about SJM. She's so good at spinning heavy scenes to softer ones. Right, it's so true. Was Kaltain's shadow fire just shadowy because of her having the word key inside of her, or is it dark fire because of Nesta's death fire? Okay, do you remember all of this about Kaltain, or do you need me to go into this one?
I mean, you can go into it, but I remember.
Oh, you do? Good. Okay, so Kaltain.
Yeah, I love Kaltain. Just because I got mixed up about Kingdom of Ash that one time.
No. Kaltain's a really funny character because when you read it with someone who's like never read Throne of Glass, and they're like, oh, I hate Kaltain's guts, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm over here like, oh, it's kind of sad when you go back and you read Kaltain. Like, Selena, be a little nicer to her, you know? So Kaltain, if you, I think it's in Crown of Midnight. Or at least I haven't seen it come up yet in Throne of Glass, but in one of the books, they discuss the fact that the reason Erewhon specifically went after Kaltain was two reasons. One, because her family was extremely rich, and so if he married her, he would get all this wealth. That was the obvious reason that everyone in Otterlin and Rifthold knew. The not obvious reason was Kaltain's family was known to have extreme magic, and one of the things was potentially fire, I think is what it was described as. I haven't gotten to that part yet to confirm that, but magic ran through the Rompierre family line. And so that was also why when she arrived in Rifthold and she needed all the tea because she was getting all the headaches, it was the start of Erewhon trying to essentially possess her, to put the word key in her mouth. Word key in her arm. So when we get to Queen of Shadows and we see Kaltain again and she has the word key in her arm and she's using the fire and all that, that is in response to the key being inside of her arm. So yes, her power could have naturally have been fire, but the actual result and what led to her death was because the key was in her arm. So it's in calm. Yeah, see, I was like, I know there was a conversation about her magic. But yeah, she did have it. Hers wasn't necessarily described as a silver flame like Aylin's was. It was more described as this like uncontrollable, I think it was like a wildfire. I forget the word that they used, but it was a very specific wildfire type combustible thing. And then fun fact for anyone who didn't know this is how little I paid attention to anything that didn't have to do with Rowan and Aelin the first time I read Kingdom of Ash. When we did it last year for Book Buds, I never realized that Kaltain came back. I don't know why. I read the chapter.
Sarah.
I definitely read the chapter. I just probably glossed over it. And so when she came back, I was like, wait, that's Kaltain. Like, I panicked. And so I called the team together. I was like, do we have Kaltain photos? And they're like, of course we do. We knew this was coming. I was like, I didn't know what was coming. So this is why we do rereads, people, because I don't pay attention. Unhinged theory. Eris and Mora mates, but they rejected it. Hence why Eris mysteriously senses her presence and there's a secret they still share. I think that's an interesting.
Unhinged.
I don't think it's unhinged.
I think we're both firmly in the Mora and Eris were mates camp. I think what happened at the end of the Autumn Court was like his way of protecting her in his own twisted way. And I think that is how Sarah J. Maas can show us a rejected
Mating
bond without
messing with illusion.
Without messing with illusion and without hurting Azriel. Like, dear God, both those boys have been through enough.
Well, I'm like not 100% sold on this theory. I think it's very, very plausible.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
can see her going a different direction,
Yeah.
but like I like the idea.
I love the idea. And I think more than anything, I'm really excited for Eris to spill the beans on what actually happened, because he's gonna have to eventually. And I don't know who he'll tell, but I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
The gods from Throne of Glass are the Asteri from Prythian. I don't know. So timeline wise, I don't think so, but they could potentially just be another type of Asteri, because you have to remember that while the timeline was moving for Throne of Glass, it was also moving for Prythian. And we actually now could probably piece that together, because we know it's 6 to 9 months when she lands in Prythian post. And then we also know when Feyre had the baby, and then we know when Aelin fell, because there's a few weeks, so we could probably piece it together and figure out where everything starts. Honestly, we should just use the Asteri years just to make it easy. But it is, I don't think that they are the same, but I do think that it is possible that they are related, because there is a mention, I feel like, in HOEAB that some of the Asteri, some of their people have perished in hell, and that would line up with Aelin throwing them in hell. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
We're playing with it still.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting one. Who do you think the god? We just answered that one. Someone said, picture this in Hofast. Bryce falls through the portal into the Asteri throne room, dropping the swords left and right. Truth teller Damaris, she caught them all. I would love that. Let me just totally be honest. I do not think Dorian will give up Truth teller, and I do not think Aelin will give up. I do not think Dorian will give up Damaris, and I do not think Aelin will give up Guldrin. And then Aedion has the Sword of Orinth, and he will not give that up either. So I don't think any sword or dagger or anything will be given up in Aurelia if they were to go there. We've talked about this offline, but I personally believe that if we go to Aurelia, it's going to be like 10% of the overall plot. But I'm here for it. I'll be searching Pine and Snow in my Kindle.
You won't, because I will block your searching.
No, you can't. Anyways, could Jezebel be the High Priestess Olenna?
Yes.
Yes, I would agree with that too. That'd be really cool.
Not only can she be the High Priestess of Olenna, but I think it's incredibly plausible that she is the High Priestess of
I
Olenna.
love that.
And I also think that because she's the High Priestess Olenna, and it makes sense that Meryl might be descended from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is interesting when you look at how Meryl is like connected to the Western Winds and has all this wind power. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Jezebel knows about the word keys. I don't know if she knows about the word keys, but she knows about the word.
Yes, I think obviously she has The Walking Dead, and she's a stupidly knowledgeable human being. So.
Okay. Can we talk about Irene's power and the Valg acquired a healer or destroyed her power? Where do you think that connects? So the Irene specifically she was blessed by Silba, is what they say in the text. Similar to how Lorcan is blessed by
Hellas.
Yes. Wait, what's his name?
Yes, Hellas. Hellas. Hellas.
Okay. Wait, what was the one Iliad was blessed by?
Silba?
No.
His consort. I don't remember her name.
Hold on, that just got my brain thinking.
Oh, goody. I love a spiral.
Hold on.
It starts with an A, I think.
Oh, Annie, yeah. Okay, we'll look into that. I was like, are they all connected somehow?
There it is, Annie.
Okay, so I I think the Valg in general, it's kind of like light and dark magic. Like, I think the Valg in general just couldn't, they can't be around healers because it messes with things. But we haven't seen an instance, at least with the Asteri and all of that, where they are afraid of healers, because if they were, then they wouldn't allow like the witches and stuff to do all their healing. Like,
I mean, I have
hypoxia.
an unhinged theory in regards to Irene's powers, and you're gonna say it's because I'm hyperfixating on Gwen, but I don't care. So I think so. There's very clearly a glow when Gwen sings, so I think she has some form of light power. It could be that she's a light singer. I have a whole theory on that. We're not going to get into that. But I think what's important to note about her being a light singer and having this light power is that it is based in healing, as is the priestesses and their invoking stones. All of that power is related to healing.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to be said for the light being somewhat connected to Irene's light and healing.
Yeah.
So
Lucy was saying Irene's power is the power that can make worlds, they can make life. So that quote was specifically in reference to the Valg, because they were saying how the Valg is a parasitic race that was taking over. So they're saying that when they say they can make worlds, it means that essentially they're ridding of, I don't think Irene's healing power literally can make worlds, but I do think it has the power to, I mean, obviously we saw with Kale, it can, make life.
Remove the parasite. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's what that is in reference to. And then she asked, did Dorian charge Irene like Hunt charges Bryce? So this is where it gets a little confusing, because Dorian did it with Aelin and with Irene. And I think
he has raw magic.
Yes. And so I think this is where things get a little confusing, because when Dorian does it with Irene, I think it is like a charge type of a thing, and I think that is because Dorian is specifically raw magic. But
a lot of people speculate that's the Karanam bond. It is the slicing of the palms and and the smearing of the blood. So
yes,
sure, but he also does it with Aelin. So.
Yes. And there was no indication in Heir of Fire or in any of the books when Rowan is talking about the Karanam bond for it to be with multiple people. The reference was specifically that when you find that one person, the Fae were known to then kind of entrap them and use it in negative ways. So, okay, I know we're getting close to the 2-hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and just rapid fire some of these. So... Cool. Is Lydia's fire, Aelin's fire, and Irene's magic all star energy? I think they all share the same properties. Lydia does not have fire magic at this point in the series that we have seen.
Lydia has as Agent Daybright,
yes,
has a persona that is fire, or day, or light, or something.
Yes. But she has not physically been seen with fire.
She does not necessarily have fire magic. Now we're looking into like the whole collar situation. We're looking into it. We haven't touched it yet, but we're looking into it.
Yeah.
In addition to that, Rune doesn't really have night magic either. He has shadow magic.
Yes. So it's really just the personification of Rune's was definitely a personification of his like night abilities. Lydia's, I know obviously when you think of stag and you think of fire, you think of Aelin. However, we never saw a stag shifter in the Throne of Glass series, but it's very obvious that there's a connection there, but it is not clear if that is directly the connection. So, and
the connection between Rune and Lydia is that they're mates.
Yes, I would agree with you with that. And then the other thing too, and it could, someone said it could be their personalities. 1000%. I mean, there could be a million reasons why they were viewed as day and night. It wouldn't surprise me if Lydia has fire magic. I'm not ruling that out, but at this point, we have not seen her have fire magic, nor have we seen a reference of her with fire magic.
Correct.
And then in regards to Aelin's fire and Irene's being star energy, I think it's way farther than that. I think it's literally anyone it is described as star. I think Dorian's is star magic. I think all of them have a kernel of star.
I think the constellations and celestial is going to be a huge situation in upcoming books.
Yeah. Someone said, any ideas about the timeline? We can do a timeline spiral separate, because I do think I do. Yeah, we can do that separate.
I don't have the mental capacity.
Yeah, I
to
know.
do a timeline.
So someone said, okay, we did talk a little bit about the worlds that they fall through. Do you think that the Asteri described? Do you think the world that the Asteri described as terminated to dust is the Akatar triplets' home before they escaped through the rift? No, because they never stated that the world was like terminated or like turned to dust. But I do think like the Akatar world was never turned to dust. Even like in Rhys's text, it's never explained that the world was like suddenly destitute and then like came around. What Rhys has said in Silver Flames, or it might have been Amryn, I don't remember, but one of them said when the High King fell, then the High Lords of Prythian got together, and then that's how the magic was spread apart. So it was never that like the world fell.
Yep. In addition to that, I think there's a reason that Sarah J. Maas called it Dusk's Truth. And there was a reference of an 8th court and it being a Dusk court.
Yes. It says Wayfarers are Asteri, or are the Asteri just a type of Wayfarer because it means world walker? I think they're just a type. Yeah. They're essentially like an alien. Sarah decided to go sci-fi and went alien parasitic.
Yeah.
Which is why they also call triplets the Weaver, the Bone Carver, and Koshe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. If Aelin goes through a portal to get to Midgard, she grabs her powers back from the gods, flips them off, causes a pure hell on the Asteri. I mean, listen, I am with all of you. When we do our Throne of Glass reread, you will hear me bitch for a long time about when Aelin loses her powers, because it is.
Oh yeah.
It is something that I have a really hard time forgiving. It is different than Nesta losing her powers, because that one made sense.
Totally agree.
Right?
Totally. Here's the thing about Nesta losing her powers, and I've said this 80 million times, and I know Sarah has, so I'm just going to say it so Sarah doesn't have to stand on her soapbox.
Yeah.
Aelin hated her powers.
Yeah.
Grew to love her power.
Yeah.
Became one with her powers, and then lost a part of herself when she lost her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Nesta hated her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted nothing to do with her powers. Consistently tried not to use her powers. And then gave her powers away to save her family. It's totally different.
I think the other thing too is because I remember when I was rereading Throne of Glass for the first time, and I said how much I hated the ending. So many people attacked me in my Discord and was like, well, you need to go back and you need to see that Aelin always found her powers overwhelming. That's fine. She found it overwhelming even in the day that she lost them. I get that. However, the amount of power she lost makes no sense to me. And it will continue to make no sense. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, there's some stuff about Norse. We can read that later. When Aelin wielded the 3 keys, she became a living gate after, or something like Bryce. So the keys actually disappeared from Aelin's arm after she used them. But what is very interesting about the keys versus the Dread Trove is that the keys are literally keys that were made from the physical gate. So this is the very first time and the only time in all 3 series that objects were made from the physical gates. Everything else was made from something else, whether it was stars or something. So it's a little bit different, but the keys were essentially, I don't know, evaporated after she used them. I don't really know what the correct term is.
They were part of the gate, and I think they became one with the gate again.
Yeah.
She closed everything.
Okay, the Shadow Singer and Light Singer, we can talk about that later, because I know that's
it, guys. If you would like a Light Singer rundown, I have a whole video on my page. It looks like this.
Yeah. Okay, this is a fun one. So we kind of talked about this. So it said, in the recent SJM interview, she said that half of CC3 was being set in the Akatar world. Any chances of Bryce going to Terrasen? I think she was lying. And I think it's more like, if it's a 50-50.
I swear to God. If we don't go to Terrasen.
If we don't go to Terrasen. If it's a 50-50, if it's a true 50-50, like she said, then I think it's more like 50% Midgard, 40% Prythian, 10% Terrasen. That is the hill I am dying on. And that is like what I strongly, strongly hope for.
Here's the thing.
It doesn't make sense why we wouldn't go there.
Doesn't have a whole lot of secrets left to keep. And if we go to Terracin, which we should go to Terracin, she's gonna hold that one until it's time.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, do we think that the Asteri gods is the ones that Aelin trapped? Yes. 1000%. 1000%. Let's see. We talked about Damaris. The Elaine theory. We talked a little bit about that. Do we think Amryn knows or who or what the Asteri are? Yes. Don't you think so? We'll go into it a little more. We have like a...
I think
we
Amryn
haven't done
was
Akawar.
made by them, and I think she knows of them. I don't think she knows exactly what they are.
Yes. The other
And
thing,
I think she's forgotten a lot while she was in the prison.
oh yeah. The other thing too is, so Avery and I have not done we haven't done our full rereads yet. We're literally waiting until, well, I mean, I'm starting mine for multiple reasons, but
I'm gonna have to start mine so that we're prepared for the full rereads.
yeah. So we will, spoiler alert, we will be doing our rereads before we do the reread with y'all. Not to say that we aren't rereading with you all, but we have other stuff we're working on that.
We will be doing Porque no los dos.
Yeah, so the reread right now, you should just join me on this, honestly. We are doing
Where are you at?
chapter 13 of Throne of Glass.
Oh, I'll catch up to you tonight then.
Yeah, literally left off at Nehemia and was like, I need a tissue next to me while I read this chapter because I'm not well.
Here's to that.
Yeah, right? I can't deal with this. So when we do all of that, some of these things, like some of these questions I'm going to leave in here just so we can come back to it, but that's one of those. So someone said they want Aelin to meet the inner circle so bad. Yeah, same. It's gonna be pure chaos. Let me tell you, Aelin and Rhys together, God pray for Feyre and Rowan, because
I'm as much as I'd love for Aelin to meet the inner circle, I don't think Aelin's meeting
I don't
the
think she will either.
I think Bryce is going to Aelin.
That's what I think too. I would die for Aelin to meet the inner circle, but
The only appropriate entrance for Aelin, if she comes to Prithian, is her like throwing the door to the river house open and like Azriel grabbing for Truth Teller and Cassian reaching for a sword and her being like, who the fuck opened a portal to hell or whatever?
yeah, exactly.
Like, it'll get you your adult language from Aelin that you want, and her just kicking down a door and Rowan just walking in behind her like,
I'm not gonna lie. This is all I want, and I know I'm not gonna get everything I want, and I'm okay with that. I want Aelin to be pregnant so bad because it will give me feral Rowan of like just pure chaos. It will give me feral Cadre, which is pure chaos, and it will give me Aelin who gives no shits and is like walking around like, yeah, let me just open this portal. And he's like, Rowan's like, please, for the love of God, don't. Like,
yeah.
that's all I want. But as much as I would love for Rowan and Rhys, like you said, to meet, or Rowan, or, not Rowan. Well, actually, I would love that. Whew, I would love that. Anyways, as much as I would love for Rhys and Aelin to meet, or Aelin to meet the inner circle, I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, no. The only likely scenario is her kicking down that door.
It's gonna be amazing.
It would bring you such joy, you would die.
I would
Can you
cry.
imagine if you searched and you read that scene before you got the rest of the story beforehand?
No, you would still get the reaction. I mean, Avery was I almost called you Aelin. Avery.
Honestly, I'm not mad about it. You called me Gwen the other day. I'm doing great.
Avery was one of the only people that saw my genuine reaction to finding out about Rhys and Prithian, to the point
and vice versa. She saw my genuine reaction because I was in a meeting.
Yeah.
And she called me and was like, leaks.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, I think the first thing that came out of my mouth was, it's a different Rhys. I literally said, it's not him. Someone is named after him, or blah, 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 blah. And they were like, Sarah, read the whole page. And I did. And I realized it was Rhys when I saw the tattooed hands of Feyre. And I was like, holy crap. That's wild. Someone said, do you think that Aelin and the Hind are parallels? I'm on the fence about it. I'm on the fence. I would love for the Hind to be related to Aelin somehow. Would love that, but I'm on the fence.
I think it'd be great.
Okay, so we definitely know. Oh, how do you picture Throne of Glass being coming in? Well, we kind of mentioned it, but we all feel that somehow Bryce is going to go to Aelin.
Yes.
And Aelin will somehow then
Help her get to hell.
yes, and then that will just be the end of it.
Like it will be like we're doing a lot of research, we're figuring shit out, and Prithian, they help her get to they help her get to hell.
Yeah.
She ends up in Harrison.
Yeah.
She talks to Aelin. Aelin opens a portal to hell for her. She goes to hell.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were at my foot. I'm so sorry. I just kicked my dog in the head. I'm so sorry. She just left.
Poor Lolo.
I'm sorry. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's like out. I'm sorry, Lois. Poor thing. I'm gonna have to give her like major hugs. I didn't realize she was literally at my foot. The other thing too, I just want to the big crutch that I think the reason she could potentially go to Terrasen is Aelin fell through the worlds, which went ahead and just opened up this like thing. We both believe that, or I believe, I don't know if you fully believe, that Bryce landed in front of the river house.
Yes.
And
yeah.
which to me, with the last time someone landed in
almost semi-confirmed by SJM in that interview,
yes,
because she said that she thought it was hilarious that this girl would just fall out of the sky and land in front of the river house.
Yeah, and so the reason I think it's interesting that it's the river house, because the river house is where Nesta landed when she
not
opened.
Only where Nesta landed, but it's also where Emery and Gwen landed after the blood ripe.
Yes, and so it's very clear that there's an opening of some sorts by the river house, which indicates to me that while I don't think I don't think Aelin fell by the river house because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but wherever I do think it would, I'm gonna bet that wherever Bryce lands, I bet it's close to Endovier, because that was where the portal was open. Or it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be directly in the castle of Terrasen. If it is, that's cool, but like I just think
it shouldn't be. It should be like the salt mines of Endovier.
Yeah. Feral Cadre.
It'll make her feel more like she's in hell if she lands there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, timeline wise,
no, I just mean like the setting. Like
yeah.
If she were to land
well,
in
I'm just trying to think, is Endovier gonna still exist? Because 6 to 7 months post Kingdom of Ash.
Aelin Endovier, right?
No, it still existed, but since it's
I thought she didn't like take it down.
No,
like,
she wanted to. Rowan said he would help her. That's why I'm like,
I really feel like something happened there. Why do I feel like
something? Because they talked about it. They talked about it before they got there. Wow, this is, what did I just click?
Anytime I say I feel like something happened there, you're just like, it's because they talked about it. It's the same situation with the Dorian and the chick who looks like Kaltane. I could have sworn up and down it was Kaltane.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. There was a massive conversation about there was a very big conversation about like destroying Endovier, and it was when Rowan was giving Aelin the tattoo, and Aelin was like, I feel like you would tell me it's a waste of time, and he was like, no, if you want to do that and it'll make you feel better, go do it. He's like, I'll help you. And she's like, really? He's like,
I thought it was after the word key situation.
No, they left. They pieced. She landed. She like, it was basically like, she landed in her body. There was no like massive thing, and she fell into Rowan's arms, and then they left. They like walked away from the salt mines.
I'm at it, so I'm just gonna look.
Oh, again. Someone asked a filler, a filler, until the next SJM book. So, I mean, From Blood and Ash would be my suggestion. I think we decided our series pick today. Which I'm very excited about. Potentially. We're still on the fence about it, but it was one that I was like, what if we do this? And Samantha was like, yeah. And I was like, sick, maybe we should do this one. So we potentially landed on a series pick for the summer. So that will go from May to July, essentially. And then what else was I gonna say? Fortuna Sworn is a favorite of ours. We love Fortuna. What's another, like, if you want a completed series, I mean, there's so many. You and I are reading Play to Prisoner pretty soon.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yeah, we're gonna start that next week. Neither one of us have read Play to Prisoner. I don't think either one. I don't have any spoilers on it. Do you? I mean, I know she doesn't end up with the king.
I have no spoilers.
You know that, right?
What?
That she doesn't end up with.
I know nothing.
Well, you know it's like based off of King Midas.
I do know that.
And you know she doesn't end up with that guy.
No, I didn't know that.
Well,
I mean, it's okay. You know how I feel about spoilers.
It's one of those things where it's like, I thought that was obvious because, like, he's kind of an asshole to her.
I mean, I genuinely have no spoilers, so I don't know.
That's the only thing I know because everyone warned me ahead of time that, like, he's a real jerk, that the first book is not romantic, blah, blah. So I'm like, there's got to be another dude, but I don't know who it is. So, what is the vibe of Fortuna Sworn? Fortuna Sworn is like...
Fortuna Sworn is so good.
It's like true... I keep saying True Blood. I told Kelsey that. It's like True Blood meets... I've heard Cruel Prince, but I haven't read Cruel Prince. It's like True Blood meets...
He compared it to the Vampire Diaries one day, and that absolutely stuck with me.
Oh, yeah, it kind of has... Which, by the way, both of these things we're mentioning are like vampire books. This is a fairy book. Like, neither...
Yeah.
Like...
Fully. But
yeah.
remember, I've only read through book 2.
Yeah. Fortuna's chef's kiss. Okay. Let me think. Well, let me answer. Let's do one more question. What's the top?
Okay.
Let's do the top question. Oh, no.
Things are falling around me. I'm starting to get chaotic.
I know. Here we go. This is a fun one. This is the last question.
Okay.
Is Eris gay? Yes or no?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll go either way. I don't care.
So I think he's gay like John Gray in Outlander is gay.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, I'm here for that.
In that he's gay, but he can perform his duties well.
Yeah, I'm here for that. I think that's the same with Fenris. Ooh, let's put Fenris. No, actually, I changed my mind. I don't want Fenris and Eris together. Might be good for each other, honestly.
Know who might be good with Eris? Balthazar.
I thought for a second you were going to say Faye Sand's daughter, and I was going to be like, we are not talking about that fanfic.
No. Balthazar.
Okay, this is you. I guess I can't really complain, but like you and Izzy are on a different level when it comes to your ACOTAR cracks. I'm like, where the hell? Like, people will ask me questions, like, they'll be like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, it clearly comes from your channel. Because, are you recording me?
No.
What?
I'm about to send you something.
What are you literally? Okay, whatever. Someone asked, wait, I want to answer this one thing because it's like one of my favorite things. Here it is. Okay, hold on. This is the last thing I want to talk about because it's my favorite thing to talk about. And it is that Apollyon is Hunt's father. And I love talking about this. So I am 1000% that Apollyon is, aka the Prince of the Pit, is Hunt's father. You cannot convince me. I know everyone thinks it's third. No, that's a red herring. Unless that is Apollyon, then go for it. But it is Apollyon. It is.
Apollyon is the Hunt's father, and Sarah needs to check her text messages right now.
Why? My phone. Hold on, I haven't set up. Oh, I hit my. What did you just send me? Oh my. Avery, you need to go put this in the thirsty.
Well, I can't because it was screenshotted from a Patreon and sent to me.
What the actual hell, Avery? It's a not safe for work photo of Eris and Balthazar.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Apollyon, aka is Prince of the Pit. I 1000%. You literally, I'm so proud of myself. If I end up being wrong about this, I'd be so sad. But this was a theory I came up with when I did my reread of earth and
did.
blood.
I
and
was there when you figured it out.
I was like, I was so excited. And then when we did our read of Sky and Breath, it solidified it for me. It has to be him.
It has to be. Jamie wants spicy Balthazar pics.
You're gonna put it in the Discord.
But it's a Patreon piece.
Fine. Okay, this is what I'll tell you guys then, because we do want to support people with Patreons. It's Elizabeth, right?
Elizana.
ELIS. Or is that a Z? It's a Z. ELIZIA.
IANNA.
Yeah, it's her.
Eliziana. That's her name.
Yeah. Yeah, so just throwing that out there.
I'll show you her Instagram page so you can go and sign up for the Patreon. So this is her.
Yeah, she's the one that did the great. She's the one that did the great Lydia photo.
She did the great Lydia photo. She's done some really epic Gwynriel stuff.
And some great
She has a Nessian one that's Chef's Kiss.
Yeah. Okay, so let me think. Yeah, so that's I know y'all have so many other questions in here. I'm gonna save this list.
Yeah.
I don't know when we're gonna do another one of these spiral sessions. Maybe after we finish, maybe this summer, maybe we'll do something.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe in the next month we'll do something. Well, do we have any live? Oh, we do have a live. We have a series we're gonna start doing pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
With you, Taylor, and Izzy, which is gonna be really fun. You guys are gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be
y'all will enjoy it.
It's gonna be a straight up trolling session, just so you know.
It is a bring your own beverage night.
Yeah.
There will be no prep for these things other than pulling quotes from the internet, and even then we might be pulling them live.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really
It's gonna be a lot of screen sharing, a lot of Tumblr, a lot of Twitter, probably.
Yeah. We're just over it. So
yeah, I forgot to say, and I wanted to say this.
We decided to choose violence.
Yeah, we're literally choosing violence. I forgot to say, and I was gonna say this at the start of the live. Avery and I, we love to spiral. We are also fully prepared to be wrong.
Yes.
We're okay with being wrong. We're okay.
Well,
we're somewhat okay with being wrong. But I'm saying that
we don't like it when we're wrong, but we understand it.
We accept it. We are not like one of those. I told this to Avery. I don't typically like watching other theorist videos because I feel like theorists can very quickly be like, I'm right and everyone else is wrong. And I don't subscribe to that unless you're going to tell me that Bryce and Hunt aren't actually mates and that the Caradan Bond or bull. Like some of those ones are just too far-fetched.
If you tell me that Bryce and Hunt are not mates and that Bryce is going to end up with Azriel, you're wrong.
Yeah, there's just some that we just don't subscribe to, but for the most part, like I will literally throw a noodle at a wall and be like, does this stick? Like, I don't know. So we really genuinely do love to have these sessions because they're a lot of fun and we will figure it out and we'll piece it together. You know, some of these things make sense. Some of these things I even denied today could be totally right and I'm just not seeing the true picture. But
100%.
The
best is calling Sarah at midnight because Sarah does not like to be called at midnight.
I don't. Unless it has to do with me finding that Azriel fic about the face sand baby. Y'all, listen.
I slept through that call. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Into it like 30 minutes later.
No, you didn't. Yeah. Can I just quickly say that if you are a fan fiction writer, number one, I appreciate you immensely. Number two, if you are a fan fiction writer, please write Throne of Glass fan fiction because the drought is real over there. And number three, yeah, I will judge you if you put a face and child with Eris or Azriel. I can't. I don't understand it.
You know how in books, authors indicate people are mad when nostrils flare? Well, just back up that video about 30 seconds and just watch my nose.
The other thing too is, can I just like quickly throw out here?
Sure, it's your life.
I know, but I'm just thinking now I've like totally like lost it. Nope, I lost it. We were talking about face and what is going on with Book Talk recommending incest books right now? Thank you. Thank you. Contemporary incest.
Ew.
Thank you.
There are places on the internet for that. Stop.
Yeah. I just want to quickly throw it out here. If you don't already know this about me, I subscribe to the lifestyle of I won't judge you for what you read.
We're not gonna yuck anyone's yum.
We're not gonna yuck anyone's yum unless it has to do with incest or bestiality. And then I will be like, that's a
and
hard.
we're talking about bestiality, not in like a wolf
Shifter,
Lola
yeah.
and millionaires
Hi,
kind of way.
we literally just read Lola and Millionaires. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
But like, I literally refuse.
I just don't want to be
Associated with that? Yeah, same.
I just don't want it to like show up on my I don't want to be assaulted with these things on the internet. Like I'm like it gives me the ick.
That's
and
why
I don't,
like do
you?
Yeah, I just listen, there's very few things that I'm like really, y'all, like
Taylor says no necrophilia either. Please.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Absolutely not. I mean, I even have a book behind me about cannibalistic nuns that I'm like really excited to read about, but like genuinely I'm a little like, I don't know how I'm gonna do with this.
I forgot you had that.
I kind of want to read it.
I really want to watch that Fresh movie.
What
with
Fresh?
Sebastian Stan on Hulu.
What is that?
You know the video that's been going around TikTok with Sebastian Stan and the girl in the pink dress, and it's the got your mind on my money and your body
Nope.
on my money. Haven't seen that?
Nope.
Oh, I'm gonna play you this trailer later.
Nope, I haven't.
He's a cannibal.
So I can basically just look it up on YouTube and find it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, I
haven't watched Fresh yet.
I just want to.
People know what I'm talking about.
I mean, listen. When it comes to TV shows, I'm out of the loop. But I just want to like the one thing I want to say, and this is going to sound a little sappy, but sorry, I'm 2 glasses in, and Avery has had a whole bottle of red. So at this point,
no, I have not. Do not.
Okay, fine. She's had a good chunk of red. I've had 2 glasses of this.
Yeah, you can tell by my face.
Oh my god! See, look, I'm a ginger. My face doesn't do that.
This is my mother's ginger coming out in me.
Yeah, but like I'm an actual ginger. My mom does that too. No, but the one thing I was gonna say was like I've had a few conversations with some book talkers who I will keep anonymous, but I get that some people want to talk about different things on Book Talk, and I respect that. But I go to Book Talk for escapism, for book recs, to talk about books. There are plenty of very heavy topics that need to be discussed, and I totally get that and everything. But at the end of the day, the content I create is so that you can come and escape, and you can have a funny spiral session. And it's not, I mean, even with my Elreal video, like it was a joke, guys. Like I don't really care, you know, like
she genuinely doesn't care.
I really don't. Like
I have to like convince her to care slightly, and she only does it so I shut up for 5 minutes.
I really don't care. But like, so when y'all come to my channel, it's because you're gonna get a fantasy rec. It's because you're gonna get like the love of a book again, and it's not because you're gonna hear some drama unless I really genuinely feel like y'all need to be in on the loop. Not to say I don't post about it on Instagram or Discord. You guys do see me post, but I'm never gonna make a TikTok and just like discuss. I think it's ridiculous. It just, oh, how did I upset the Elreals? So let me just clarify and say that apparently Avery wants to like turn off her camera. This is what happened. They are so unhinged that they have pulled quotes from Rowan and Aelin to compare to Elreal, which, listen, I love that. I like totally love that. I don't care about your stupid ship war with the Gwynreals. I don't really care. Okay, all I care about is Rowan and Aelin. Rowan and Aelin, who, okay, now y'all are really going to get me on a tangent, so I apologize. What is going, let me back this up so it doesn't sound like I'm screaming into your ear. What the actual hell is going on with this true mates bullshit with the Elreals? Let me pause, okay? For anyone who's like, oh, they're not true mates because of what happened to Rowan and Aelin.
Before she goes, this is not Elreal hate for people who are normal about Elreal.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
for the crazies.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not a crazy.
Let me get
exempt
really
from
close to
this-
the camera so you can hear
from
me say
this
this.
yelling.
Okay. Rowan and Aelin are mates. They were mates the entire time.
Mhm.
Lyra and Rowan were never mates.
We're never mates.
They were never mates, okay? So Maeve did all of that to mess with Aelin, not even knowing who Aelin was, specifically to mess with Brandon Galathinius's heir, okay? So they were mates. There was never all this true mate bullshit that's coming up on the internet is not actually what happened with Rowan and Aelin, okay? Also, Throne of Glass mates are like soulmates, okay? View it like that. Perithian mates, as we know of right now, are like a breeding thing, okay? It has to do with like...
It's a power trip.
Yeah, it's a power trip, okay? Do not come to me and tell me that Az and Elaine are true mates like Rowan. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not a thing in any text.
Theory is incorrect.
It's essentially like you taking, like, here's an example of you pulling Rowan and Aelin quotes, just to clarify, okay? If I were to say the sky is blue, but the grass is looking a little brown today, and you were to take the quote that says, oh, the grass is looking a little brown today, that means the sky isn't blue, that's essentially what you're doing. You're not taking the full context of the quote. You're taking one sentence and having it fit your narrative. So, which is fine. I get it. I totally get it. Okay. I mean, I do that to troll people. I get it. But it's not the same thing, hun. It's really not. And I'm sorry, but based off of what I have read, before I even met Avery, before I even knew what the hell a Gwynriel was, it's very clear.
That I'm the bar.
It's very, very clear that Azriel is going to have some sort of feelings for the ginger priestess, okay? Just pay attention. Just pay attention.
Not to say that Elaine and Azriel are not going to have a moment.
But I also...
Has clearly set that up. I am a Gwynriel stan. I can understand that. Why can't certain Elreals understand that he could move on from that?
The other thing, I don't care, but don't compare a mated pair to your stupid ship. I don't care, but it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It does not make sense.
Okay, so there is an Elreal in the comments, and they're being very respectful. I see what you're saying. I do. I genuinely do. I do think that Sarah J. Maas was laying some groundwork for Elreal.
1000%.
She sure was. I'm just saying that based on A Court of Silver Flames and the interactions between Gwen and Azriel throughout that book, in addition to the bonus chapter, in which Azriel almost kissed Elaine.
Yeah.
So it happened.
Right.
I think we are moving in a different direction. And I think there's enough evidence online from Sarah herself saying how much healing Elaine and Lucian are going to go through together that makes me feel like Lucian is more plausible and Azriel deserves to be happy. And honestly, the buildup between Azriel and Gwen for me personally was so beautifully done that I think that they have a very compelling story that can be told.
The other thing too, I just want to point this out here. If you wanted to and scrolled all the way back to my A Court of Frost and Starlight reactions, I was an Elreal. I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Like, they are going to be together. So I went into Silver Flames expecting a hell of a lot from Elaine and Az. Mm-hmm. The truth is, we didn't see that because she was setting something else up entirely. However, we have talked about this. I believe whatever the next ACOTAR book is, don't get me wrong, we will 1000% see Elaine and Az together. We will. I do not deny that. I will eat it up because I actually like them together. But end game wise, Rhysand made a very good point. And you just have to respect all of that. So Elaine deserves to be happy. Elaine deserves to be out of her sister's shadows, because that's essentially where she's been. She's been living under her sister's shadows for too freaking long.
Life.
For too long.
She deserves to find her own self. She deserves to be happy. She deserves to live her best life. And in my opinion, her best life can be lived with Lucian. And
or how about this? Not even going to the illusion thing. Her best life can be lived without Azriel.
Sure. Also that.
Like,
but one of the things that drives me the most crazy about the ACOTAR fandom is we're going to sit here and we're going to say that there's no realm of possibility in which Elaine can forgive Lucian for his part he played in her being made. But we're going to forgive Rhysand for everything he did to Feyre under the mountain.
Right.
With
I'm telling you right now, they're going to have to address that in the TV show, or they're not going to show the full thing, because in a book you can get away with it, but in a TV show you can't get away with that.
Like that. Yeah. So we're going down, we're getting heated, but the thing is, yes, she set up Elaine and Azriel. I do think we're going to get some of that in a book. I do think she is going to use an Azriel book to help build up Elaine so that she is ready to tell her own story.
Hold on. I'm going to go ahead.
But Gwenriel is in game, in my opinion.
Someone said, have we gotten on the Faceand hate TikTok side? No, we haven't.
No, God, no.
We don't hate Faceand. In fact, we love them together. we both do.
I love Faceand.
However,
look at my babies. They're right there.
However, I just want to quickly point out that there are things in that relationship that should be addressed. Not to say that they aren't, they're perfect. I mean, honestly, they bring each other up. They do everything. There's so many positives in that relationship. And, you know, it is one that we both love dearly. But there is still flaws in that relationship. Just like there's flaws in Cassian and Nesta's relationship. Flaws in Aelin and Rowan's.
Also said that they can't wait for the drama with the necklace that Az gave to Elaine and then Gwen. Here's the thing, guys. I don't think there's going to be any drama with that at all.
Yeah. This is, okay.
Not at all.
This is the funny thing. People always like to bring up bonus chapters and say they're either not content or they're never brought up again. They are brought up. The bonus chapter of Air of Fire, the deleted scene, is brought up in Queen of Shadows and Kingdom of Ash. It is. The other bonus chapter in Empire of Storms is brought up more casually in Empire of Storms. But the biggest one, the one that had the heaviest impact, which is the one where you meet Asar and you meet Ramel and you meet all of the people from Wyndlin, or, you know, Dornell, is from the bonus chapter. So you can't tell me that the bonus chapter doesn't have weight. It does. It just does. Yeah. So people who are like, it doesn't have weight, and it does have weight. It does have weight, but she likes to kind of balance things. Mm-hmm. So just so you know, just to kind of like quickly go on that little tangent. But the reason I went on this tangent about Rowan and Aelin is because I'm sick and tired of seeing this true mates concept when the only time that was ever brought up was in HOEAB, when it was in reference to Hunt and Bryce, because it makes sense, because they are genuinely confused about because they're two different species, for God's sakes. Like, that's why.
Mates.
Yeah, but you cannot compare Rowan and Aelin to anything that is not an actual mated pair. You just can't. So I'm like, but basically, like, at the end of the day, I made this TikTok because I was like, I'm sick and tired of y'all comparing Rowan and Aelin to your stupid ship. Like, stop. This stupid lavender soap thing that I saw, you're missing the point of the lavender soap, my love. And it's like, it's symbolic of Aelin's journey from Selena to Aelin. It is not symbolic of truth teller to Elaine, which I understand does have some symbolism and is important. So, okay. So, and Rune said they were mates in the face sense. Yeah, exactly. So I see that Lucian lying around with the matey mom. Yeah. Are you worried about the ACOTAR TV adaptation at all? No. No. Ron Moore's got it. I'm not worried. It's going to be a bunch of unknowns. But all I know is whoever you are, Rhysand, the actor, please scrub your internet history.
God almighty.
Take all those dick pics off the internet, because regardless of how big your dick actually is, it is not big enough for the fandom. So just take it off the internet right now.
Get it off.
And just, you know what, while you're at it, just have like your PR team run your social medias. You know, just don't subscribe to social media at all.
It's gonna be not good for you.
Yeah. But I wish you the best of luck. And if I ever do meet you, I'm just gonna give you a hug and say I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, for real.
That's about it. Like, I just, you know.
I mean, it's a huge undertaking.
It's huge, yeah.
And they're gonna have to make him nasty in season 1.
I'm so excited. I love Mean Reese. It's kind of the same reason why I love Mean Rowan. I'm like, oh, they're so cute. Like the minute Reese does something like awful, I'm gonna be like, that's my man. Yeah. Oh, and whoever is cast as Elaine, Nesta, and Feyre, also scrub your internet history and also just let a PR team run it.
Pretty much.
I mean, God forbid the
if
Elaine.
If you are a main cast member in the Avatar TV series, get a PR team on your social media and scrub your internet history.
Yeah,
until it's like white glove approved.
I really hope whoever is cast as Elaine just doesn't know about Elreal, Illusion, none of that.
God.
Like, just let them figure. Or if I was cast as Elaine, I would call Sarah and be like, can you just tell me who I end up with so I don't have to subscribe to all this BS on the internet? Because that's what I would do.
Can I just know who I'm supposed to end up with eventually?
Oh my God, this is my favorite topic. Are you ready?
Oh God. Pregnancy trope.
It's my pregnancy trope.
Sarah! I swear to God, if we don't go to Terrace,
I swear to God, if you want, I need to actually write it down, but I do have a list of fanfics I really want to read for Throne of Glass. They're all canon. None of them are, well, some of them have a little bit of spice, but most of them are very plot driven. Some of them are AU, like what would happen if Aelin was pregnant when she was taken by Maeve in Empire of Storms. I need someone to do that right. Like, I will help you. I will give you plot points. Just write it. Like, it's all I want. Oh, okay.
Say the words.
What?
Say the words.
I swear to God, if we don't go to Terracin, I will lose it. I will lose it, Avery. You got 3 of those today.
I know. It's just gonna be. There are gonna be days you forget.
Do they involve Fenris and Oh my God, you're disgusting. I can say that because it's Taylor and I can call her on Marco Polo later.
Oh, I was like, who?
It's Taylor.
Taylor's trolling you.
Okay, listen, I don't have time tonight to talk about the Throne of Glass TV show. I put a huge thing in Discord. I think I pinned it. If I didn't, I'll go pin it tonight and you can go read it, but I can give you all the information. Someone said, one thing I always see on TikTok I hate is how if you favor one Archeron sister, you have to shit on the others. They all have trauma. No. They all deserve their own. Yes. Yeah. I personally relate with Nesta. Out of the 3, that is the one I relate the most to. However, there are days I feel like Feyre. I rarely feel like Elaine. But I have a suspicion that Elaine will be my favorite.
Of the 3, I currently relate the most to Nesta. But, like, let's be honest, I'm a Gwen.
Yeah.
Just is what it is.
I'm definitely a Nesta.
You're an... Guys... I am the Gwen to her Nesta. I am her designated Hufflepuff because she's a Slytherin. Like, we got this on lock.
You're the Lysandra to my Aelin. Do you know someone said that I was Lysandra to May's Aelin, and I was like, May is not an Aelin. She's too nice.
Like bookishly May?
Yeah.
Try again.
She's too nice. She's so sweet. So nice. May is like one of the sweetest humans on the planet, and I'm like,
She's like a lead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she definitely is. Because she actually has like a really...
Because she
can get vicious.
She's not boring at all.
No.
She's incredibly sweet, incredibly kind-hearted, but if you screw with her, God help you.
Yeah. Oh my God, May is like... I know we talk about our own book talk group a lot, but May is like one of my favorite people in that group. No offense to anyone in that group. She just is. She knows
she's been gone for so long, and like literally when she came back, we were all like, May!
Yeah, she's literally the best. Like May is the best. I think I like love everyone differently, but yeah. May I think is because May can calm me down when I get really angry.
Me, I'm just gonna keep lighting a fire under your butt.
Yeah, you really do. Okay.
Flint.
Exactly. Okay, I know you guys have so many questions, and I'm so sorry we're not able to answer them all, but this has been
we've
a lot
been on
of,
this for
this has been
a minute.
yeah, I thought we were going to end at 9. I've been saying we were going to end at 9. It's 9:54 right now.
Oh, mine was definitely set for 10:30, so I at least had that far.
Okay, well, we tried. We really tried. Okay, we're going to log off. What are you going to read something tonight?
No, but I want to chat with you in the Zoom after for a minute.
Why? Did I do something?
Oh God, no. It's the stuff I've been working on.
Oh, okay. You want to do it on this one, or you want me to get my laptop?
We can do it on this one.
Okay. All right. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We will be back. When are you going? You're going live this week, right? I know you're going live with Taylor and Izzy. Aren't you doing a Gwen reel thing?
We're supposed to do a Gwen live. I don't know if it'll happen this week since my trip.
Okay. Are we still doing the one on Friday?
Yes, that we are doing.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to join.
Kate is fully aware that I will be doing a live on Friday.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to join that one.
Why?
Because it doesn't work on TikTok. Oh, are we going to do it on Facebook? Are we going to do it on Instagram?
Insta, yeah, it's over on Insta.
Oh, then I'll be fine. Because that TikTok is not working right for me with the other thing.
Yeah, it's being weird. So yeah, I think we're doing it on Instagram because it's the 4 of us.
Okay, so we're gonna be live on Instagram on Friday to celebrate Izzy's new fic.
And that's gonna be at, I think she said 8 p.m. No, she said 10 p.m. Central.
I was like 10 p.m. Pacific. I'm
No,
gonna literally murder her.
Because I've done that with her. She decided to do a midnight premiere for one of hers, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. to get live with her.
No, sorry.
It was very weird.
I love you, but I'm not doing that.
But really creepy people at 3 a.m. here, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I love. She's like, I'm the youngest. I'm an only child. Does that surprise anyone? Probably not.
I'm the oldest of 2, but I am the only girl, so I'm like an only child.
Wait, what?
To my dad. I'm the oldest of 2.
Oh.
But I'm the only girl.
Oh, I for a second thought you had another brother, and I was like,
no.
I was like, wait, pause.
I have one younger brother who is married before me.
Yes, but he married a woman that was your age.
That is correct. My brother is very mature for his age.
God bless.
God bless. He honestly, if we're being totally and completely truthful here, I am the oldest by birth, but he is definitely the oldest child.
I would agree with that. Oh, my mom just sent me a text and said my dog is being a diva. Why?
Well, that's not surprising either.
For anyone wondering, she's sleeping on this pillow right now like this.
Ugh, Lolo.
She's okay. All right. We've like wasted everyone's time at this point. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to hit the end, but everyone's going to be able to hear you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Bye, everyone. We'll just have, so next time, should we do the timeline or should we do some more? I don't know. When are we going to do this again? In May? We could do it in May.
We can do it in May. Or we can do it when I get back from Cincinnati.
Oh, like next week?
God, no, but like after.
Oh, I was like, girl, you crazy. I'm like,
you do like end of April. Though,
okay, this was a lesson, and I shouldn't start this drinking wine. I kind of get what